more. Don't you get tired of your children saying that to you? You said that yesterday you weren't going to do it no more. I know you ain't going to do it no more after this. Get them clothes. Get them off and get in there. Like my mama told me when she told me, if I find out, I'm beating you. And she found out. Get up there. I mean, everything come off. I say, surely she don't mean these drawers. I'm coming into manhood. When she came in there and they were still on, she struck right on draw region. And they flew down. And she went on to handle her business like she said. Mom was not bluffing. Right. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 7.
What it say?
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain.
And say taking his name in vain is to take it worthless. See, we don't want to get caught up into the alphabet of it. Some say if you say Jesus, you taking his name in vain. Well, Ezekiel 16 say we profane his name and taking it in vain. So what letter did we use to get it through out of Jerusalem? If it's about letters. If letters are names, what letter was it when we had our own kingdom? When we had our own army, when we had our own navy, when we had our own priests, kings, and lawyers, when we had everything, what letter was it? Or does name mean responsibility with a mission you've been given? Commandments you're in charge of, and you do worse than the people you're trying to give it to. That's profaning his name and call it worthless. Esau for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Take the Lord's name in vain, worthless. Look, you're going to die anyway. What is it if you give your birthright away? You're going to die anyway, but for a bowl of soup. And we're going to come down to the same thing. We're going to give our birthright away. When this mark comes, that no man should buy, sell, or trade, are you going to gamble your soul for one morsel of meat? You're still going to die. You still already written. If you take the mark, you dead man walking anyway. Let's read some more.
Verse 8.
What it say?
Remember the Sabbath day.
Remember the what?
The Sabbath day. To keep it holy. To keep it holy.
Right. 6
days thou shalt labor and do all thy work.
Right.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord, thy power. And in it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. Nor thy what that is within your gate? Nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. So if this is all Israel and all tribes being here, who is the stranger? See, so we ain't gonna play them semantics. What we're going to stay away from is strange. There's no R on the end of it. R is if somebody of a strange nation adhere to the law, statute, and judgment that we read, you put an R on that. Because they're an outsider, now they've joined into the commandments, not what they preach, but what is taught from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then they get an R on the end of it. But strange is what it is when you look up strange. It didn't say they married stranger wives. It said they married strange wives. And some of those strange wives were Israelites. Strange is spiritual first. Y'all, that's what we got to get our mind back to. Strange is spiritual first. Because you can have an Israelite woman that going way off and teaching all of the dark side. She's Israelite in flesh and nationhood, but her spirit is of another nation, is of another doctrine. So she's straight to the Jew first, and then who? Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 was for Israel first. These are his 7 churches he's talking to. We got run out of them churches and they took over. Now the scripture applied to them. But first it was to the Jew first and then the Gentile. Messiah was up in the synagogues of the Pharisees who were Israelites. All went up in the synagogues of the Pharisees who were Israelites. After we got run out in 70 AD, now they get in there and take over. But it was already set in motion because King Herod
what the script say was an Idumean, was sitting on the throne of Israel. That's the one who put out the hit on the Messiah when he was 2 years old. And guess who's his descendant? King Agrippa, the fourth down the line that Paul speaks of in Acts 26 when he told Agrippa, say, you almost convincing me to believe the gospel of Christ. He said, not only you, but you and your whole household. It has to go to Israel first and then the rest of the world. You can't make Agrippa an Israelite. Right. He's the descendant of Herod, the Idumean. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 11.
What it say?
For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
So we got a whole issue here that there's always A and then there's B. The Sabbath says 6 days you must do what? Work. That's the first part of the Sabbath. If you arguing and you done skip part 1, you done started in the middle of the understanding. It starts off with number 1. 6 days you must do what, y'all? Work. And then the 7th day you do what? Rest. You can't rest from resting. Only if you're not capable of work physically. Something is going on mentally. But you have to work to get your mental back so you can get back on board. If you're retired, you're still working. The Father didn't stop working after he created the earth. The work had to be maintained. You buy something brand new, it still has to be maintained. It has to continue to be maintained, but you're not going to work on it like it was made brand new. If you do that, just scrap it and start over. If you spend $20,000 trying to repair a $6,000 car, go buy the $6,000 car, brand new. What you got, Sister Boy?
This summer when I went down to New Orleans, and we took that walking tour, and the guy gave us a piece of paper on the black codes when they brought the slaves in back in 1704. And that's when the Catholic Church changed it from Saturday to Sunday.
Their worship. See, we have to be clear. They never changed this.
No, they just changed.
They just changed the day of worship through mouth service. Right. Yeah, through. Right. And that's not changing this. This keeps saying the same thing. Upon the first day of the week, upon the 7th day of the week, this ain't never changed. They just changed, and they changed the minds of people who want to be in cahoots with it. The Council of Nicaea didn't write the New Testament. They're called canons. They're not called scripture. They don't even quote from here. Canon law of the popes. One thing, they didn't change the order. How they Levi? When that happened? What was we at when they changed and took over Levi's position? Let's get some more. Where we at? We ain't gonna belabor that. But y'all, upon the Sabbath, go ahead, sis.
So you would say consecration and sanctification are synonymous.
Yeah.
So when you say, sanctify this day unto himself holy.
Yeah.
That's sanctify, consecrate.
Yeah, to set apart, to make clean, to right. So now, when you're rich, you're always gonna be cold. What about when we in captivity, Lord? They made us work 7 days a week. How can we keep your law in captivity? He's already looked down the line because he told Abraham how long the punishment is gonna last. The Father already seen this is where y'all will come back in with great substance. He already see that. We just have to get to that point to see it. We only see it in bits and pieces till as prophecy unfolds, but he already know where the end thereof is at. So we have to understand that when he rested on the 7th day, he still controlled what was going on. He's just sitting back, working, not physically like it took to make the earth in 7 days. It's a difference. You know, once you build a house, you just maintain the house at that point. You ain't gonna knock the house down and keep building it back up. That's a waste of time, man. So y'all, that's what we want to do so things don't come in and tear the house down. Like you got to do something about termites, or that house gonna be condemned, right? Same way with your personal temple. Get the termites out before they eat all that wood up in you, that bone marrow. Let's get some more. Where we at?
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 12.
What it say?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
So now we're going into the second half, or the second one, where it says, love thy neighbor as thyself. So all of these things are what we're going to deal with people who we see it every day, because at no time has any man seen the face of the Father.
And could you expound on that kill?
Oh yeah, and kill, when it says thou shalt not kill, but we got Ecclesiastic that everybody read at a funeral. There's a time to kill. This say never kill, or you don't understand what kill means. It means to put the body to sleep, so to speak. No man should do that. It grieved the Most High's heart in Genesis 6 that he had to put everybody down except who was on the ark. He said that grieved me that I had to do that. That hurt him to his heart, but he had to do it. But killing go from manslaughter, vehicular homicide, you can kill somebody. Your beast could kill somebody. You're responsible for that too. If your beast get out and go, we're going to hit those scriptures too, because it's a part of your neighbor that you have to keep. Not just so you live next door to somebody else you don't know. I'm talking about your neighbor who keeps the commandments. That's who your neighbor is. That's right. Your neighbor can't be a Ku Klux Klanman or Boko Haram because they live next door to you. They're your neighbor in a sense, but they're not your neighbor. They got two different objectives. They want to circumcise 12-year-old girls. Now, how you do that, I'm not sure, but that's what they want to do. Now, if they living next door to you, that's not your spiritual neighbor, right? He's just somebody living next door to you. So y'all, but as far as the Sabbath, we wanted to get that explained because we're going to read some things about the Day of Atonement that you should be put to death if you go to work. So we got to get to what priesthood we are, where he says the Messiah is the Lord of the Sabbath. When I'm the chief high priest right now, Moses spoke about me. And I'm telling y'all what the deal is. Moses sinned, the Messiah didn't. Who we gonna listen to? Paul sinned, the Messiah didn't. Peter sinned, the Messiah didn't. Let's read some more. Where we at? Let's finish this off so we can get caught up a little bit. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 15.
What it say?
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
We off there? Okay. We back on, Jake.
Yeah, he on there.
Okay, that was a while ago. Okay. All right.
You on there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou should not do what?
Covet thy neighbor's house.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass. And that's talking about a donkey. Go ahead. Nor anything that is thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Verse 18.
Yes, sir.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
So right here, the next verse we're gonna hold up, but you see Moses was an intercessor for the people, and that because he said in Exodus chapter 7, he told Moses, I'm gonna make you a god to Pharaoh. He punished Miriam and Aaron for speaking out against Moses about marrying Zipporah, who was a Cushite woman in Ethiopia. But she saved his life because the death angel was coming after Moses for not circumcising Gershon. Hard head. And that Ethiopian woman circumcised her son and threw the foreskin at his feet. You're about to have me a widow, man. Let's get right to it, y'all. We're going to get to, now since we understand those 10, those two are encompassed in the 10, and then the 10 are encompassed in the rest of it. Where do you think this nation copied off of? They got their basics, and then they got the 10 Bill of Rights, and then they got all amendments under each one of them 10. They're a copycat. That's where they got it from. Same way, statutes, laws, and just ordinances. When you run a seatbelt, those are new ordinances that they had to add. We didn't have to wear a seatbelt when I was coming up. Got my license. Some of y'all looking at me like my birth certificate must have been wrote on a rock. Damn, y'all not to have seatbelts back then? No, you didn't. But now, because of certain issues, if you go up on the charges, ordinance such and such, not wearing your seatbelt. And you already know it when you get pulled over because you pull this move. Click up. You could have did that when you put the keys in the car. Why bring a burden on yourself, y'all? That's what we're trying to eliminate, y'all. Burden. Time is money. If you don't pay it, you got to go to court. But it's still money. Save that little piece of change and do that when you start it up. All right, y'all. Psalm 119, y'all. The Father Elohim states, I am Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. So, y'all, we just go hit because we are people. We have a language. Psalm 19 is the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. It's the longest chapter in the Bible. Each word or letter, Aleph, all the way to Tar, have 8 verses in between our whole alphabet. 8 verses, so you learn what the letter, you could pronounce the letter all you want, you could be a scholar in it. But if you don't know what that letter means in them 8 verses, you don't know that word. You don't know what it means. You ain't got a clue. Look at that, see what they're saying. You ain't got a clue. The one on the left. Yeah. No, just see what he's saying. Yeah, so you ain't got a clue about what's going on until you get this understanding. The Most High made sure nothing was left out of this. All right, y'all, so we're going to hit Psalm 119. We're just going to read the alpha part and the omega part. We're going to read the first letter and the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. But you're going to see, if you understand Aleph and you say, well, okay, it means this. This is the first word for that. It means this. But now you have to apply that to the living book. You have to apply that first letter to your life. You got 8 verses of that first letter to apply to your life. Let's get it. Where we at?
Book of Psalms.
Yes, sir. 119.
Chapter 119. Blessed are the...
Hold on, the page is flipping. L9 in that microwave, man.
There. Blessed are the undefiled in the way.
See, but that's, if most of y'all scripture, y'all see that first Hebrew letter there, Aleph, Aleph, since I know you know how to pronounce it. How you pronounce it? Aleph. So y'all, that's the first one, but knowing it, y'all, and we want to repeat this to you, it's like a child know their ABCs. All they know is the song, y'all. Then you have to move them to the next letter to see if they know every letter in there, what it means, what sounds it makes. And then you got to move it to sentences. And then you got to move those to behavior in your life. But if a child won't you sing with me, and then you say, now baby, point to a D. Oh, no D. It's gonna be a problem. Oh, you know what's the song? Let's get some more. Where we at?
Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord.
Who walk in the what?
In the law of the Lord.
See, that's how the blessed are undefiled, because they walk in the way of the Lord. This is starting out with the first letter. Let's read some more.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him in the whole heart.
With the half the heart.
With the whole heart.
When I feel like it heart.
With the whole heart.
Not on Thursday and Friday heart.
With the whole heart.
Okay.
They also do no iniquity. They also do no iniquity.
Boy, you had to hold up on that. Go ahead, read that again.
They also do no iniquity, that walk in his ways.
They walk in his way.
Yeah, they walk in his way.
They walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Thy precepts diligently. So precepts are different parts of law that make up the whole piece. That's why when somebody say you can't keep the law, you just ask them, which one? Or just wait for their answer. Because whatever they say, like see that part about sacrificing bulls. He said we weren't doing that no more. You don't have to keep that one. I'm just talking about what other you talking about. This Paul way after that. He explained that in Hebrews 9th chapter. So what other one are you talking about? You can't stop stealing. You can't stop killing. You can't stop robbing. You can't stop doing this. And watch the look on their face. So then I'm asking you again, which one you speaking of? Y'all, it'll save a lot of time. You don't have to get tangled up in there and be wrestling and fighting. Just ask them which one. Because who's going to tell which one they can't keep? Let's read some more.
Verse 5.
What it say?
Oh that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Right?
Then shall I not be ashamed, when I have respect unto all thy commandments.
See, you will never be ashamed when you have respect to the command. If somebody say, see that little God in that Old Testament don't do nothing but kill people. Every time you look around, he's killing somebody. And rightly so deserved. Because if you put away the law and you start in Mount Sinai, you still gonna have to explain why Sodom and Gomorrah got nuked. That was way before Mount Sinai. You got to explain why Cain was called a murderer. Ain't that still the same law?
Yeah.
And it's it's on this side of the flood. Same law. How Noah know to put 2 clean on, 7 pairs of the clean and 2 pairs of the unclean animal. So we got clean and unclean getting on the ark. Way before Mount Sinai. We got a law already in the earth.
Yes, sir.
And his high priest is Melchizedek. Go ahead, sister.
In the aspect that word, isn't that word for way is derek, which means your roadway, or it shows you the pathway for every road.
Alien. You speaking of? Am I pronouncing right? Yeah.
That to every road there should be a path to righteousness or to the Father.
Absolutely. But all those roads lead to one path, and that's the Messiah. So any way up other than that is a what? And what is a thief? Is that a commandment? So you can't steal your way into the kingdom. There's no way to steal. Farrakhan can't steal his way into the kingdom. He can create another Quran. Guess what? This don't mention nothing about the Quran. It don't mention nothing about Ishmael's children being included into the fold of the 12 like we just read. Don't y'all know you're going to be sitting on 12 throne judges the who?
12 tribes.
Ain't no tribes of Shabazz.
No.
Ain't no tribes of Iraq and Iran included in that list.
Right.
No additives. Today, when you look at something, you're looking for, oh, look, no additives. No high fructose, no additives.
Pure.
Let's read some more.
Yeah, I want to say that word keep is the word shamar.
What do you mean, brother?
To keep, guard.
To do what?
Guard. Observe, give heed. Saying the guard the commandments.
So guard the commandments. Keep the commandments, guard. See, you have to, because if you remove the law out of the way, then it's a free-for-all.
That's right.
When you play dominoes, don't tell me 15 to get on board. And watch I be in a second house before you know it, with 5. Nick, you be like, wait a minute, hold on, y'all. Ain't it 15 to get on board? Who laid the rules down before the game started? So even when you're speaking of these scriptures with anybody, the rules have to apply with both parties, or you're going to be agreeing to disagree. You'll make an excuse for Satan. Man, I can understand, man, being the brightest and the wisdom, man, I can feel a man not being sit on the right hand of the Father. I kind of feel it. No, you can't. Because the one sitting on the right hand created him with the Father. He was the first creation. Ain't no understanding there. Learn the hierarchy so you don't leapfrog. Christ is the head of man, man the head of woman, woman the head of children, the Father the head of Christ. Lucifer ain't in that list.
No.
He ain't in there, is he?
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 7.
What it say?
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart.
Lazarus been Israel in the house. Go ahead.
When I shall have learned the righteous judgment.
Have learned the what?
The righteous judgment.
Thy righteous judge. Go ahead.
I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly.
So that's the first one. When you learn the righteous judgment, you're going to have situations where you have to look at it north, east, west, and south. You must look at it from every angle before you make a determination. If you leave one part out, as we get into scripture, you may be partaking in another man's sin.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at it all four corners. That's what news is, ain't it? Don't N-E-W-S mean from the north, east, the west, and the south? We bring the news from the four corners. This is the gospel. It's the good news. These laws, statutes, and judgments have to be brought from the four corners. Every situation we find ourselves in has already been covered. Ain't nothing uncommon to man that already done hit this earth. Nothing ain't. You ain't the first one walked in them shoes. Them shoes been put on since the day one. Adam and Eve had them shoes on. That's why we died. Shalom, bro. Let's get some more. Let's get to the last one. We're going to Aleph and then the last. Y'all read all of Psalm 19 and learn your letters. Let's get to the last. Let's get to the last one of them. Psalm 119, verse 169. How you pronounce that? Ta? Ta. Yes, sir.
You do that 97 first, 97, 104 first, man.
97, 104?
97, 104 again.
Hold on, I'm misunderstanding what you're
You
saying.
want to do 97 to 104.
Oh, 97 to 104 and then jump down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Men.
definitely do that. He want to do men.
Men.
Any reason you want to do that men, bro?
It's going directly what we're talking about.
Right.
The law is, it was like Christ was the law was the shadow of Christ to come.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a law, you really follow Christ, period.
And you're meditating on it all day long, y'all. See, when you're meditating on the law, it's already in your mindset.
Right.
If everywhere you go today, and we're practicing for that kingdom, we're not under this old schoolmaster anymore. We're trying to get a conscious level when the only thing you should have to say is before we go somewhere. Now, everybody know it ain't no bail money. What does that mean? Don't do what? Show your what? I mean, you ain't got to browbeat nobody. It's simple. Ain't no bail money. If they put you in them cuffs and haul you off for some foolishness, ain't no need you waited. We're trying to get back out there for your first court appearance. But ain't no bail money for foolishness. Let's read that man. Who got it?
Psalms 119, verse 97.
Yes, sir.
Oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day.
Now, how did he get that? Now, he got a jam out there like that. He sounds just like that jam, didn't he? Evening meditation. Did y'all hear that? Okay, go ahead, bro.
Okay, I'm reading it like he reads it.
Yeah.
Oh, how I love I
Yeah.
my meditation all the day.
Yes, sir.
Thou through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies.
Through thy commandments have made me what?
wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me.
But if you're wiser than your enemies with this commandment, you're already a step ahead of them. See, you're a step ahead of all of this technology out of here. You know why? Because in your mindset, they're trying to mimic what took place in the Garden of Eden. They make you think it was Grant's phone. Sitting there and you got one little girl right here, a little boy right here, rabbits running around and trees, and they make that the Garden of Eden. But that's what New Jerusalem is. It's the Garden of Eden. Just went to repair the breaches, bring it back holy like it was when Adam and Eve first entered into it. That's the whole gist of it. That's where your mind got to be focused on, and not just you think it's fruit trees around. That's some rabbits running through. Grass need mowing. No, they ain't the king. Go ahead. What you got to say?
So would you say that laws are how we pronounce Torah or Torah?
Right.
So when they say that laws, would you say that it is Torah?
Yes.
It's the same thing that you just said. That's how man's laws here in the U.S. are established for all the world.
Yeah, the whole world. Yeah.
From the word of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So you can say that?
Yeah. I mean, but that's what Torah is. It's law, statutes, understanding. It's the first 5 books, but then you got Psalms, you got Proverbs, you got judgments, you got all of these other things that add to it. Statutes and judgments now. Ordinances, you know, you got the Most High say, you have heard that it said of old times, thou shouldn't do this. But what I'm telling you is, this is the way you need to be doing it right now. This is the way. Do it this way. If you don't do it this way, then you want to listen to the prophet that did. You know, he's not the resurrector. I am. So you have to get it in your mind straight, or you keep running back to the old law or the schoolmaster. It's like keep going back to kindergarten and you still ain't found out what a D is. You can't be 50 years old and show me a D. Hey, I don't know what a D is. You can't go back to kindergarten. You're too old. What you look like in bibs and overalls and Stacy sitting in kindergarten class.
Say that this is what scripture that it says, and all the laws seat upon the laws that he's telling us, which is Torah, would be everything that hinges upon the heavens or in Shabbat Shemayim where he resides. So you would say that?
Everything depends on his law, statutes, and judgment. Like I say, the problem is we're stuck at Mount Sinai. All of these laws were taking place way before Mount Sinai, before it was called Torah. Before it was there, these laws were established. The Sabbath was established on the 7th day. Mount Sinai is like 3,000-4,000 years away. So we got establishment already. We got rock and we got foundation. Before, because everybody had to be put to death except 8 souls that got on that ark. And I want you to understand too, because of the wickedness and bestiality, the only animals that got on the ark was free of that contamination. Because there was bestiality at a high level. Not only were them angels mating with women, they were mating with animals too. Oh, it was wicked. And if y'all ain't seen lately, y'all seen the rise on the robot. They already had to shut down one brothel because they said they wasn't cleaning the robots like they should. They flesh-like. They don't talk back. The women can get the Cutler 3000. It's a man model robot that'll cuddle after activity. You out the door at this point. Get your knapsack and go. The Cutler 3000 is here. And for the men, the Dragonless Woman 2000. No talking back. Barefooted all the time. Y'all know the rest of it. What you got, sis? Hold on. What you got, sis? Speak a little bit louder, sis. Just a...
scenarios I want to pray for you. The first one is not only that this word or this law was set from the beginning of time. So even that's why when we say certain things, we say the power of words in our tongue, on our tongue.
Yeah.
So even that's where the angels,
Yeah.
when we say things, the angels themselves are set in motion.
To record or to take your prayers back, like Daniel 10th chapter. You know, there's warfare out here. They had to battle to get Daniel prayers, 21 days to get them prayers through up to the Most High. See, we used to just speak straight through to him till he put that brass iron over us for disobedience. Now it's a battle. And when you hear, be it and observe what people, when they say, well, the devil, you know, like you may be quoting the law to somebody of the Christianity doctrine. Well, the devil know the laws. Well, tell me something I don't know. Ezekiel 28:12 tell you how he was dressed up as a high priest in the heavens. He was high priest there. He was top dog there, but that was there. So that was way before the earth was created. Lucifer was a high priest. Ezekiel 28:12 on down tell you his status. He was the wisest and the most brightest of all the angels created after the Messiah. He was in charge of the heavenly choir. It's why they always got him connected to music. That was Lucifer. If y'all see the show that's coming back on now, Lucifer, he got the club, Lux, just like in Egypt, Luxor, and he's a musician. And he's playing the music. And they're telling you everything. He's saying, you know, Father just a trip, man. Father just a trip. The Almighty is his Father. Let's not get it mistaken. He was a creation of the Father, but he had to be put down. He had to be lowered a peg. The clay ain't gonna tell the potter what to do. Under no circumstances, heavenly or earthly.
So the second part is, I'm sorry. The second part of what I was about to say, going back to what you were saying about the robots and statues, you know, they did something which is in the scriptures,
Right.
where they now have masks that just look just like
People. Right.
like us.
Right.
And they have masks, so the people are going out putting on masks that look like us.
Right. That's probably what's happening in Chicago. You know, because if you do a drive-by and just peel that mask off, you just somebody of another nation driving through now. But you look like Earl at the tire shop with that AK first, because they're making these synthetic masks now. They're so lifelike and so real. But the chances are, if they get caught, though, that's the chance you take, which will blow the whole thing. But these personal sins, like these robot brothels, bestiality brothels, we are moving toward the days of Noah. When it get full-fledged, when it's legal to marry your robot, do you, Siri, take Earl? I take Earl. I take Earl. Who don't know who that something right here? Let me move around. Theo, go ahead. Theo.
The way that I try to explain God's law to people, the law is the very essence of who He is.
Yes.
So when we
his embodiment.
It's about when we follow the law, we just trying to study like I did. That's what He wanted us from the beginning.
It's the bottom line. It's always been that. It's always been the father passing on to the son. You want to, you don't want to disrespect your father. And that's how we profane his name, to have the law, statute, and judgment, and show our naked rear end to the rest of the world. And the world look and say, this is the people of God. These Negroes that's on the front page of the world got a whole newspaper about their behavior. What other nation got a newspaper about their behavior? Y'all ever see the Chinese up there in the store? What other nation up there? The He Hung Gazette. He hung high, killed, he hung low in a drive-by. Only one group of people out here who's supposed to have the light and are ashamed carrying the Father's word. It's shameful, y'all, to the Jew first and then the Gentile. Tribulation, anguish, and poverty to who? And then who?
The Gentile.
Blessings, honor, and glory to who? And then the Gentile. He's no respecter of persons, y'all. His law stands supreme before any nations was made out. He said, I can make these right here, Israel. Watch it. We'll be out of there. Don't need us for what? To show somebody what? Our sins? Where we at in this mess? Hold on, this.
There's already somebody who married them all by.
Is already married them already?
Where?
Over in India, over
It was one of them.
yeah, somewhere I think over in Arabia somewhere but y'all, they already giving chimpanzees, when you hear rights, animal rights, and these rights, they're slowly moving into they have more rights than a human being. Because what Mike Vick done time like he killed the president over an animal. So they're moving the rights up there to where people love dogs and things like this. And some will show you. Dogs are already taking over. If you kissing them in the mouth, letting them lick your ice cream cone with you, all of that, you showing no distinction between the two. What you got, Sid? Let the dogs kiss.
Yeah, this is
Kiss in the open soul.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the guy that.
It was two people.
Well, the dog must have had rabies. Because, see, y'all have to understand, the dogs came and licked Job's sores. And they gave him comfort. So dogs can have bullet wounds and pellet wounds, and they can lick that back to health. That dog that licked him had to have rabies. Because dogs is something you just don't want them because they heal other parts. They lick their rear end too. So, and you sharing your ice cream cone. What flavor is that? Let's move on, y'all. Let's finish this meal.
Verse 99.
What it say? Right. We're in Psalms 119, verse 99. What it say?
I have more understanding than all my teachers.
Right.
For thy testimonies are my meditation.
Right.
Evening meditation.
Yes, sir.
I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts.
Right.
I have refrained my feet from every evil way.
How many ways?
Every evil way.
Right.
That I might keep thy word.
And Lot being in the middle of Sodom and Gomorrah, 5 cities surrounded with that behavior, eschewed evil every day. So it ain't like when you're talking about set apart, you're set apart up here first.
Right.
Because you may be thrust in a position that is wickedness all around you. If this is locked, what's around you don't even matter, y'all, because we can't see the invisible world. If we could just blink right now and get into the supernatural, it's so many demons and wicked spirits probably sitting in here now or out by the door just walking around. We just can't see them. You know who see them? Somebody that's on that lysergic acid dithylamine. They could see them. LSD. They could see them because you open up that supernatural realm and you could see what's out there. So when you see him on the street corner, I told you, you better leave me alone, you better go. You're like, he crazy. No, he sees what is not allowable for you to see. You see it if you get into wickedness. Now play with a Ouija board, you will see. Go to Miss Rudolph, you will see it like Saul saw. But you want the Holy Spirit to unlock it so you see righteousness, you see your direction, you see your path, you see levels of the kingdom like Enoch did. And you got hope in the resurrection because you get a glimpse of it that way. What they're trying to do now is get a glimpse of what they think is self-preservation and to be the man, but you die out. Steve Jobs is up to what he got now, iPhone 10, and he dead. Albert Einstein did, all of them. They all trying to get back to a chariot, to make a chariot like the Most High's got. Those chariots were in the beginning. So who's behind in time? You're trying to get back to or create a supernatural aircraft that can't be heard with speed of nanospeed. The fastest they got right now down here is Mach 6. A Mach is 600 to 800 miles an hour, so to speak. They up to Mach 6. Supersonic, then it bang your ears. But a supernatural chariot, like that took Philip from this location and then he was seen here, that took Elijah from this point to this point, gone. And y'all know when somebody say pew.
That's fast.
Look, there ain't no level of horsepower you can put on pew. Or you get, what else y'all using greater than pew? Where we at? Let's read this, y'all. We gotta get caught up, y'all. We run out of time. Go ahead.
Verse 102.
What it say?
I have not departed from thy judgment.
I have not did what?
Departed from thy judgment.
Right.
For thou hast taught me how sweet are thy words unto my taste. Yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
See, so through thy precepts will make you hate false ways. Because you're covering them north, south, east, and west. So you know if there's a shortcut coming in. You know if you try to set your alarm on the house and it won't set. It says there's an open zone somewhere. You got to get that zone corrected so you can leave and the house is locked up. Like manner, that precepts have to be like that where Satan can't get in. Every door he check on you. Check this door. And it's why the Messiah say, gird your what with truth? Your loins. First, the loins of your mind. This what he want to get a hold of and put nasty, dirty thoughts up here. Then they're going to go down to them loins. They have to be girded with truth. That's why the Messiah's name is in his what? His girdle. He's truth there. I'm going to tell you how it's supposed to be done. We got crazy mentals in our mind about how it should be done. But he said that has to be more truthful than anything. For me in Pacific, because your covenant is there. That's why I got to be, girl, you can't have nobody. How you look like I said, be in a doctor's office and he holding your covenant. It's kind of one of the worst cases I ever seen. The way it's, try a couple of these and see if they'll cure you and come back in 7 days. They don't even know what to get you. They just said, try this.
So when you say that when you put on the helmet of salvation, that is Yeshua HaMashiach.
Right. He's the head, right.
The helmet of salvation. So even it should be that when you think, it should be the thoughts
of righteousness.
That's right.
We see with our eyes as he sees, or what he hears the way he hears. So all of this whole helmet here is Yeshua HaMashiach, which is our salvation. Would you say that?
Absolutely. He's everything. Look, because it was created for him. The Father already had the universe. He said, son, everything I'm going to create for you is for you. Follow my law, statutes, and judgments. Follow my rules. You run it all. Everything going to bow to you. It's already written, John 19 chapter, all that from the beginning. It was created for him and by him. That don't make him the Father. That just make him included in a plan, like you're leaving a business to your children, to your firstborn son. You're leaving it to them. You're putting them in charge of a righteous thing to carry on down the line. An inheritance of righteousness is what you're trying to look for to pass on to your children. Because we see what happens at funerals right now. Let somebody die right now, you will see what's going on. Hollering and screaming and fighting and But when you have a funeral of peace, you know that, hey, he left a good mark. He left a good mark. Peaceful, you hear a little whining and crying, and it's supposed to be that. Mourning, but you move on. And you understand that, you say, and you get it in your mind, ain't nothing else we can do about this situation. You have to get that locked in your mind like David when he was praying for that child in adultery. But the script had already said there's going to be problems if that happens. You know, so he prayed and he fasted, the child died. He said, that work is done. He's dead. Ain't no need me back on my knees. The Lord made a way out of this right now. He took that child so he wouldn't be called that son, the bastard son of David. Y'all know how Israel going. Here come little bastard, y'all. Little bastard. What y'all gonna be doing later? Hey, little bastard. And look, he died on the 7th day because the 8th day he should have been circumcised. You can't circumcise him under them circumstances. No. The bastard, show your circumcision. Is it crooked? No. Moved out of the way, and David said, I shall go to him. He can't come back this way. I'm going where he at. He didn't ask for this. I brought this upon him. But he can't be judged by what I did to form and create him. He can't be judged by that. Neither can the Father be judged for what Lucifer did. He did that because pride leaped in him. Wasn't no spirit created to test Lucifer. Pride, which is an inner part. Because see, when the pride is locked up, when the devil is locked up for 1,000 years, that's the only thing that will make a man not want to come up to Jerusalem is pride. Mm-hmm. I'm not going up there. I'm sick of serving them Israelites. I ain't going. Well, you ain't getting no rain. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about if sin is locked up for 1,000 years, what will make them say, if you come not up? It says if though. Come not up, you get no rain. So pride will still be around until the second resurrection, and everything will be moved completely off of the earth.
So with what you just said, you would say that you pray for the people that the eyes, as we put on the helmet of salvation, that the eyes are understanding to be enlightened like an Egyptian.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's the only way to understand it. You got to get spirit. What you're talking about is a spiritual clothing within your inner. When you picture your soul, you have to picture your soul dressed as Ephesians 6 and 9, 10 on down. The helmet of salvation, the breastplate, right? The feet shod with this. You know, you have to picture your soul dressed like that because that's what's going to be dressed in the kingdom. So you have to picture. You can't keep picturing this. This is waxing old. It ain't gonna never recover. It was marked from the beginning. It's what David said in Psalm 51. It's shapen in iniquity. Mm-hmm. It wasn't born in iniquity. It was shaped. It was fashioned with corruptible flesh until the one who comes who didn't have corruptible flesh straightens that out. You're gonna have to just understand that as you get older, things is gonna get wrinkled. It's gonna start, you're gonna see where. It's gonna be like food in the freezer that spoils. How did that happen? What's that in that freezer? That's these right here. We done left them in here too long. How does coal still deteriorate and corrupt? So y'all, it's telling you, freezing ain't gonna stop what's already been designed for this flesh. I don't care if Coach Walt did in cryogenics. When they throw him out, he gonna be stinking. This skin is getting old. If you walk on the beach with your partner, you like, man, you got spaces on the gators on the beach. He like, oh, them your feet. No, because we're getting older and things are growing up. There you go. Let's finish this off, y'all. But sister, what you saying is, I want to hit That's why we do what, sis?
That's why we, But it's clothing ourselves in Him. That's why we should clothe ourselves with Him and in Him.
Right, we have to, and that's what the script says, you have to put on Christ. Give me a little bit of this so you understand. Christ showed us that outfit that he had on, that spiritual outfit. Give me Isaiah 59:16, y'all, then we're gonna get caught up. So you understand, since this matches up with Ephesians 6 and 9 and 10. Give me real quick, y'all, Isaiah 59:16. Run that for me. Start at verse 16.
16.
Yes, sir. And we get some understanding on sis how these precepts once again match up. That ain't nothing different from the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament is just a revealing of the Old. That's all it's doing. It's not a new book that was made up. It's to if the New Testament don't reveal the prophecy, then the Messiah ain't came yet. Because what other records do you have to prove that he hit planet Earth? You ain't got no other records that you can trust. All they doing is telling you, we saw him, he was born at this time. We saw when the conception by the angel came, and we saw the conception. And y'all, we have to understand, the conception is more powerful than the live birth. Because you can't get to the live birth unless the conception is right. The conception is what's called to make pregnant, not the live birth. You just can't, a baby, you just can't walk out of your wedding chamber and then she walk out and the baby and on. Something's wrong. Got to be 9 months in there somewhere. But if she come out of the chambers with a baby, no, she didn't have gas. She was already pregnant when you married. Let's get it, y'all. Isaiah 59:16. Who got it?
Isaiah chapter 59, verse 16.
Right.
And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor.
Right.
Therefore, his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness is sustained him.
Let's read what he put on. Yeah, keep going all the way down to 21.
For he put on righteousness as a breastplate.
Now, y'all match this up with Ephesians 6 and 9. Go ahead.
And a helmet of salvation upon his head.
What he put on his head?
A helmet of salvation.
Okay.
And he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing.
Right.
And was clad with zeal as a cloak, according to their deeds. Accordingly, he will repay fury to his adversary.
Right.
Recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense.
Right.
So shall they fear the name of the Elohim from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Most High shall lift up a standard against him. And the Redeemer.
And the who?
And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgressions in Jacob, says the Most High.
So only way Zion coming, they have to turn from transgression, and that means, what's the word for that? To turn from transgression is what? Repent. Repent or die.
Yes, sir.
It's the same message all throughout the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Repent or die. Repent don't mean saying I'm sorry. Repent saying I'm not going to do that ever again. See, you can quit while you ahead, or you can quit.
Right.
See, if you quit while you're ahead, you're in control of it. You can see your errors and you can teach everybody the other way. If you quit, it may be because the police made you quit. This is the last, brother. We told you, we caught you with that dope again, you going to doing life. 3 strikes, you out. So you're forced to quit. If you doing something you ain't supposed to be doing with your temper, and they say, no, it's a spread all the way through here. You're gonna have to, you have to quit now. You didn't quit while you were ahead. And this is what the program is teaching us, to quit while we're ahead, while we still got breath in our body, so we can get to that kingdom. Yo, we can't be made to quit, because when you're made to quit, it's like, I don't know you. Depart from me. Y'all, them are words you don't never want to hear. You think it was rough when your mom said, get out of my face. I told you you ain't going outside today. Get out of my. No, it ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be your mouth gonna be no, your mouth is gonna be on lock. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. You be in full ventriloquist mode. No, go on. D-E-D-A-D-O. Dado. Where we at?
Verse 21.
What it say?
As for me, this is my covenant with them, says the Most High. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed.
Nor out of the mouth of thy seed. See, this is male and female. This ain't just, it would just say, nor of thy fathers. See, this is telling you anything of Israel, male or female, is under orders. Leviticus 15 is both male and female. When a woman reaches this, when a man do this, this is both are under this law. There's neither male nor female. When it was giving out the punishment of Garden of Eden, each one of them got their charges. Adam, your charge is this. You let another slide up in on your woman like that. I told you don't do that. Eve, how you slide up? He tricked me. He was handsome. He was a bad boy. Why you think that didn't change to this day? Why you chase the bad boy? Because he looked good. He got on gators. He got on everything. He promising. Hey, boo, when you shined up. But this boy over here, he too nice. You ain't seen nice yet. You're going to realize what nice is when you look up the word. It means to be extremely stupid. But he going to show you who's really nice when he turn the tables on you. That's how the devil plays. He going to show you who nice, who was extremely stupid.
So the same scenario that the father has, that it's been played out from generations, it happened to Adam's seed down through generations. The same thing is what people don't understand is their sins of the seeds of men follow down to their children's children's children. So what they're doing, if I submit this to you, is the fact that what they're doing, it's not cut off, like you said, cancer cease from then on. It will follow the children down to third, fourth generation.
Right, but see, absolutely, but they can't be judged by that unless they do the same behavior. But you're starting them behind the 8 ball. See, Adam started us unfairly what him and Eve did. They were born with uncorruptible skin. Birthdays didn't start till they sinned. Because now you got a death date. So now you count from that perspective. After you dead, he was this many years old. But if they hadn't sinned, ain't no birthdays in eternity. Whatever you look like that, you're going to look like that for the rest of eternity. That's what you're going to look like. There ain't no more birthdays for you because it's eternity. You're not going to count a year and say, unless it's somewhere in the scripture say count 1,000 years. Man, this brother 3,000. That's why the Father is called the Ancient of Days. He's ancient to the first day written in the scripture. He's ancient to that. I want y'all to get that in your mind. He's ancient to the first day. And that's why the Messiah don't have a spiritual birthday either.
So that's why he tells us to count the cost. Is that why he said count the cost?
Absolutely, but he teaches in Psalms 90 and 12. Teach me to number the years, to count my years. You have to be able to count your years. Why? Because 70 is your mark. If there ain't no birthdays, how you know you 70? Huh? How you gonna know? This is when you start celebrating, ain't it? Man, 10, dog, but that ain't nothing. Y'all 70 will roll up on you so quick and fast, you'll be stunned. You will be stunned how quick 70 will roll up on you. Now you're just looking to get to 80. Hoping I'm starting to clock good time now. But with that, it says there's come much sorrow too, but it's still a blessing of the Lord to get past the mark that was set for mankind. Let's read some more, y'all. We gotta get caught up. Where we at? We finished that?
The end of 21.
What it say?
Nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, saith the Most High, from henceforth and forever.
See, y'all, and every time it was a question, if it's all about the man, there was rules set up to include the woman. Because the man that founded a wife founded a wicked woman. That ain't what it says? No. The man that founded a wife founded a rusty dull spoon. The man that founded a wife founded an old shoe with a wrinkle in it. That ain't what it say? What it say? Okay, all right. Just one. Let's get right into this part, y'all. We have to jump down in here, and then we're going to come back and wind it up. And what we're trying to do is do the first 4 because we run out a little bit of time. I'm going to give y'all this, Deuteronomy 8th chapter, and this is the other first 5 of learning the first 5 of the 10 commandments to love the Lord with your whole heart and soul. Deuteronomy 8, y'all write these down because we run a little bit behind time. 1 John chapter 5. I tell you what, don't worry about none of them I give you. We're gonna pick up some more stuff. I'm gonna get them in. I need to get them in. Let's get to this, y'all, because we got the Day of Atonement coming up. What the world calls September the 19th. You know, that's a 24-hour fast to afflict your soul. And what it means is you're taking away something that's attached to your soul that has become a burden to your mental. If it's a burden up here, you ain't able to do your job at work because you're doing what? Thinking about it. If somebody then got on your last nerve and you're thinking about them, that's the only thing you're thinking about. And now you're sitting at a stop sign waiting for it to turn green.
Yeah, stop sign.
Yeah.
They didn't get that.
Thinking about somebody. Oh, shit. So y'all, this is going to cleanse your body of this. But now some of us are on medication. So you have to do accordingly because the spirit is not grievous. You can't harm yourself with this feast day that's coming up. Mm-hmm. If you got to have food, cut it back to what foods like fruits and vegetables that you can have so you're not eating a full meal. If you have to drink water with your medicine, then you're going to have to regulate accordingly. But this has to be right before you even do it. But we can't, or the Most High would never put you into harm's way, you know, because then blind faith could come in. And as soon as something happens to somebody over there with them damn Hebrews and they take a medicine, yeah, up there in the coma up there in St. Louis, them damn Hebrews, you know them Hebrews, I don't know what they call out there on the corner, hooting and hollering and cussing out people. Yeah, they got themselves locked up in that coat and up there in the hospital talking about some day of fruition or something like that. The day of fruition. So y'all, accordingly, let's do it in a righteous manner. And anybody got any questions concerning medicine, you know your body better than anybody. If this goes away from your body, do you feel ill? Because we're going to get into the Matthew 60 where it says, when you fast, you cannot have the look like you suffer. You can't be ashy around the mouth like Tyrone Biggums and telling me, yeah, dog, nigga just getting his fast on. No. Looks like you've been chasing that pace. That's that crack, you know, because it used to look like back in the day you needed paper mache. And you left the top off and it got hard. Where we at? So y'all, we're going to hit just right on these atonements. So because that day is coming up, y'all, we need to get geared up. We're just going to hit them quick. Elijah and them did a great class, Elijah and the brothers, at the feast of over Ish house at the Day of Trumpets. So they touched on a little bit, but we're going to go into just the atonement part. They hit more on the trumpets. It was brief because Zeb and them had did a class weeks before on trumpets, on the full trumpet. So we just gonna touch on atonement parts, and we're gonna move right back into this lesson because these days are how to deal with your neighbor. First, you blow the trumpet and warn everybody, y'all, we gotta get our minds straight. Then you go into the fast to clear any misconceptions you got with anybody. Get out of this, get any strike or rock, anything out of your mind about somebody else. You can't let that afflict you because your enemy's gonna always be around you. You get rid of that one, it's gonna be another one. So you got to get in your mind how you gonna deal with this situation, and that's to get that anger with malice out of your heart. You can be angry, but you just can't have malice. It have to be like children. Break them up in the playground. Well, y'all, what's going on? Yeah, kick stand up. Y'all make up. Next few minutes, they playing again. You kick some sands on somebody, now it's trouble. Damn well you ain't kick sand on me. I didn't try. Yes, you did. Go get my pistol. About some sand.
Yeah.
Leviticus 23, verse 27. Y'all, there's some things in here that we're gonna have to jump right into Matthew to understand who he is when we read these verses, so we don't get trapped with Aaron and start to feel like we finna die to do a holy day, y'all. That's the most dangerous thing that can happen. You feel a doctor's appointment, you're gonna die. We can't be like we are. Well, I don't want to go to the doctor because I'm scared what he gonna tell me. If you scared what he gonna tell you, you already know.
Is that what you want?
Weird.
Yeah, 23, 27 through 32. Is that what I want? Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that's what I was just looking at something else. Go ahead.
All right, I got it. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 27. Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement.
Right.
It shall be a holy convocation unto you. And ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God.
Who is it to make an atonement for?
For you.
For you. You got to come clean with him. You got to get one-on-one with him about what's playing. He already know. He just want to hear you say it. It's like your parents would tell you, I already know what you did. I'm just trying to based off your answer if I'm going to beat your... Well, go ahead, bro.
For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from amongst his people.
See, and y'all, we got to really look at that. It's just not like a robot or you thinking I'm just supposed to not eat and sit like this. It's saying whatever does not afflict his soul. If you're part of this, there's something going on in your mental that you need to get straight with you first. Not worrying about nobody else, but you first. This is not a day to send out a email or text. If I've wronged anyone, forgive me. That could be 500 people. Them ain't the rules. The rules is to go to him alone. And if he repent, you gain your brother back. It ain't to throw it out there. Hell, you don't know who you may have offended and broaden that out there. That's not to be like that. That's for in the closet when you do the Lord's Prayer and you ask, forgive those that I've trespassed against, like those that trespass against me, if you don't know who it is from it. But that's in a closet. That ain't to be broad and thrown out there. Hell, you may ain't repented from that. Maybe 10 people on that list, you ain't repented. It's just 10 people you telling I'm sorry about the same behavior. Don't work like that. It's not for that. It's for you to get down to business and clean this temple out of what's plaguing you. And you know what it is. Ain't nobody got to tell you, because as soon as somebody come to you and they know it's about the word, they start explaining about themselves. And man, I know what I need to do. I need to stop. And man, I need to go over here. And man, I need to, what advice I'm gonna give them? That they already know what's plaguing them. They just told you. Brother, if that's what's plaguing you, then you need to get that right. That's the only answer you can give them. They already know what's wrong with them. Ain't that what most people do? Man, I got to get back. Even I had to get back in the church, man. I ain't doing the nigga hanging out all night. And you already know what's wrong. Let's read some more.
Verse 30.
What it say?
And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in the same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generation in all your dwellings. Verse 32.
Right.
It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at evening.
So we just saw the 10th day, didn't we? Did we start off with the 10th day?
Yep.
Some confusion now? See, no, it's just telling you, you start the Day of Atonement in the evening part right before the beginning of the 10th day. You're going to go into the 10th day because the day starts at night. So right before sundown on the 9th day, you're preparing for the affliction of your soul. As soon as sundown hit, you're into the 10th day. And you move all the way through the 10th day to the evening. So it's an evening to evening, what you call fast, or it's only two like that, Day of Atonement and the Passover. It's from evening to evening type of deal versus from sundown to sundown. So you're ending one day is ending out with a part of a feast, jumping right into the next, and the Passover do that. The Passover technically ends at twilight or when the street light comes on. The Feast of Unleavened Bread starts at sundown. It's right there. It seems to us today to be the same day. But technically, one day is finishing off and another day is starting. You got two feasts right there together like that. Two feast days. Passover is totally separate from the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They just two feast days that go right together. Right together. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Let's finish it off, verse 32.
Okay.
From evening unto evening shall ye celebrate your Shabbat.
Okay, so now y'all, we're gonna hit a little bit of Isaiah 58 so we understand. Go ahead, sis.
Somebody was asking about, do you drink water during the Day of Atonement?
Only if you have to due to medication or some illness, but y'all, this is a 24-hour fast with nothing. No personal devices, nothing. No hen, no nothing. See, because what he's doing is preparing you for when they bring you the choice of the death. Take the mark. Or you can't be in the way of Esau and sell your birthright for one morsel of meat. You have to do that, but y'all, we have to get in preparation so that the Most High know you tried, but your temple may be messed up. See, a lot of us, if you're born with diabetes, so to speak, it was transferred from your parents. You got a disease on you from their behavior. So that's on you. But it's still no excuse not to look at the Day of Atonement. You just have to address it a little bit different than anybody else. So that you understand that, because parents, if you a crack baby, the crack baby don't last forever. They eventually grow out of that illness if they're taken care of in the early waning of that. You're a heroin baby, you eventually grow out of that addiction. Ain't no baby 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old is getting jacked with a needle. Y'all don't mind her. She got to get her fixed before we finish with our history lesson. Well, you look like a child hitting up like this. And she's sitting up like this in class. Ooh, I saw Abraham Lincoln. I saw just what we were talking about. No, you can't. So, go ahead, sis.
I just want to this to everyone. You might want to, when you first start, you might want to, with your fast, if you're fasting, you might want to have a little water, warm. That would help you get your body settle down, whatever type of, if you're on the drug or medicine.
Right.
Or anything like that, you might want to do lemon water, ginger
Yes.
water. That would help you because it's water, and it's also cleansing. It helps with your blood pressure, right on that line. So you won't have any difficulties. You might want to try that.
Right, absolutely. So, and all is a good advice, y'all. If y'all hear that, ways to substitute to help the body get through that 24-hour period. And y'all, look, this is why you have to focus on the affliction of your soul, your personal deal, or you're going to be a clock watcher. More hours to go, y'all. You got little Caesars on lock here. You just had a speed dial ready. You got that number to rallies. You can't be waiting it out like that because the second coming could happen. What you got, Sid? Go ahead, Theo. Hold on, let me get Theo. Go ahead, Theo.
I just have a question. Can you read the words on the table song?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the spiritual food you want. Absolutely, bro. And that's a good question, y'all. Ain't no bad question. Can you read the word during time? That's the time to, because that's what's going to sustain you. That's what's going, like down here, you say, man, them 3 hours went by so fast and then I was hungry after I left. That's what the deal, that's what's going to give you water. Like he told Nicodemus, you're going to thirst again with this regular water. You're going to hunger again with this other water.
It's still a feast day.
It's still a feast day, but you're feasting off of that alphabet. Let's read all of Psalms 119, the whole chapter during them days. And you know why you going through this and you ain't eating? Because your focus is to starve that demon or that evil spirit that's got a lock on you, because he'll be starved out. Because when he can't feed on what you think you need to survive on, when he can't feed on enough, he burn out and go look for whoever else needing the demon. What to say? Go ahead, bro. What you got said? Let's just get a question off. We're gonna move on. Go ahead.
I just want to add second part to, and I'm sorry. If you're dealing with headaches and things like that, you might want to get some peppermint extract.
Peppermint extract for headaches, doing that? Okay.
You can do both ways. You can add it to your 8-ounce glass of water, and you can put it in the meal, put it on a napkin or something, and that gets rid of it, or put it on your temples, and that also gets rid of it. And it'll give you a little energy until you go.
Absolutely. And those for those who can't do no water, no food. That's the whole thing. No nothing extra. No reaching for that. No pouring in that cup of that. You have to be focused on this day to get myself ready for the King. That's what it's for. Go ahead, bro.
What if you're pregnant, Hebrew?
And that's great one, because that baby have to eat. That baby can't be void of food like that. So you have to get that routine ready for that baby. Only eat what nutrition is needed for that baby. You still can't go, because that baby is not under the law of death. There's nothing for that baby to atone for.
Right.
So, and a lot of people ask about children. If they ain't reached the age of accountability, they got to have something to chew on, or your feast gonna be clock watching. We hungry. We hungry, Daddy. We hungry. Go in there, sit your ass down. I told you they gonna be too much longer. 10 more minutes. Damn. What's that? So hold on, let me finish this up. So y'all, with the children, y'all prepare them before to get them through points. Get them kind of to the point that where you say you already ate. This is why y'all, the 9th day at evening, it starts so you get them prepared before you move into the Day of Atonement, which is the 10th day. So you get them prepared, and then you wind down on the end of the 10th day at evening, because you can't go into the 11th day. So you're winding down right back to twilight. From evening to evening, you right back there, and then it still gives you enough time to prepare the meal you need before you go into the next day, which is the 11th. It gives you that time because it ends and you start to prepare. But don't go back and try to eat a whole pizza by yourself, because your stomach gonna shrink. You can guggle a 6-pack if you want to. All that show is you just abstain from a day and you were pretty much forcing yourself to take a break from your bad habit. No, that ain't the deal. This day is to get rid of your bad habits. That's what it's for. This is where they got the idea of the New Year's resolutions. But they only do it for a certain amount of days. We have to get rid of whatever bad habits like we have for life if they keep you out of the kingdom. Right. This is what it's for. It's to clear what will keep you out of the kingdom. That's what we have to be focused on. If you're doing something and they say, this, you can't get in the kingdom doing that. Ain't no need you trying. If your righteousness don't exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees, you're wasting your time with the Day of Atonement. Yep. You still locked in what can't get you out. You fasting for naught. This is what we're finna get to Isaiah 58 that's going to explain that. They got any more questions out there? But the children, y'all, the children, make sure they're prepared and they eat right before sundown. Get them prepared. Get them ready to where if they're under the age of accountability because their sins are on you. So get them prepared so you don't have to hear we hungry. You a grown adult. A child gets hungry. Yeah, I just got through eating that and I'm a little famished now, but the word is safe. What you got?
I was just gonna say with the children, you can like fix their food the day before where they can just go in the refrigerator and get it themselves.
Yeah, grapes are different things. Be prepared. This is preparation, y'all. It ain't like we don't get the time to prepare. We just wait till the last minute. What you got back there? What's up, Raphael?
Question about on the plantation. You gotta go to work.
We gotta go to work. Well, that's why we're finna get to this Mark chapter 2 because we've read some things in here that there's no servile work. It has to be treated like a Sabbath. A Sabbath means no servile or creating the account of monies that you need to pay your regular bill. What about if you got to go to work? Well, the Messiah knew when we went into captivity that was going to come up. So the fix is for that. But you can separate and be like Lot in your atonement at your job. It's going to be rough. Because they're going to be in the cafeteria. Look, it's going to be rough if you at home by yourself if you ain't got your mental together. Unless you clear all your food out of the house. Once you open that refrigerator and see, your mind could go left field real quick. And that's what the devil say, have you eaten today? No, I ain't. And before you know it, you cooking. And somebody say, what you doing? What you mean? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Don't lick the rest of them. I will get the rest of them. And get prepared for next year, if you're alive. But yeah, that's what's up. What you got, bro?
Somebody else has to keep smoke.
You can't do nothing. Nothing. What he say?
It's an online question from David Thompson. It says Tuesday is the 9th day of the month. Today is the 6th. Can I get some edification on this?
Tuesday is the 9th day of the month. Well, it all depends on how they count. Our count been already we using this account, y'all. It's a shadow of things to come. When we talking about if Tuesday is the 9th day, what we're saying is the 9th day of the evening. There's key words in there to tell you not the beginning of the 9th day, but the 9th day at evening. See, that's the language we have to be careful of, or you will start the Feast of Unleavened Bread too early. It said the Passover was killed in what? At evening. Mm-hmm. And then soon as sundown hits you into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So y'all, even though it's saying the 10th day when we started out in Leviticus, and it ended up saying in the 9th day, it's just taking you back to preparation to get prepared. Y'all, you have to get prepared not to eat or drink for 24 hours. And that don't include what you don't need to live. You don't need smoke to live. You don't need drink to live. You don't need this gum to chew on. You don't need that cigar to do that. You don't need none of those things to live. If all that was taken away from you, you would still live. So it has to go to complete, because if you include that, then you just brought in what your trouble is. And guess what the devil gonna bring you on that day? That trouble. I saw what you left in there on the Day of Atonement. I saw. Oh man, but see, I ain't like your God. Don't do that, boss. Your God is be tripping. Don't have that. See, and you get rid of food and water and you stay on your vices. But we already trained how to stay on our vices. This day is to get you off your vice. But it's a difference if your vice is part of how it makes you function now. You have to wean that to a point of making it work for you, because you're just practicing for the next one. And then maybe the next one, now it's 12 hours I can go without water. And then the following year, if I'm left alive, maybe it's 20 hours that I can get without having to do it. And then fine, ain't no problem, sis, you all right. And then when we get to finally, you may say, you know what, I'm off all medication. My 3rd year in, I get to do the Day of Atonement like I did. But y'all, we cannot, the Lord won't tempt us with evil. You cannot just cut anything off like that. And like I say, what if somebody is going through right now, you got an illness and you on medication to get that illness out of you. If you stop that medication, fasting will clear that up, but your mind have to be on that. You can't think it's going to work by itself. It's not going to be automatic because you just stop eating. Your mind have to be regulated to where you strong over your mind, or somebody's going to be blaming you for that individual's faults. He passed out cold and hit his head on the sidewalk. What happened? He didn't eat or drink. Some girls, some they saying, some of them blue lights are, you know, you've seen them. Y'all, and that's what the enemy is going to be looking to do, y'all. So we ain't going to never put you in a position where you have to, like I say, if this is helping your soul get you to the D, but you should be cutting off. But some people are born with diseases that's going to take them to their deathbed. If you born with high blood or diabetes or whatever it is, as your flesh starts decaying, you get older, it's going to have its way with it. But that came from your parents. You got to make sure it's not the death of you, so to speak. Y'all, we hope we get some good understanding out there about this day, y'all, but you got to cut. If you're able, if you're a good sound mind and buddy, food and water and everything else, cut off. Nothing goes into your temple but these scriptures. Spiritual food goes in. Even if you have to take a little bit, spiritual food goes in nonstop to start to combat. And then you'll know. Because everybody knows this on medication, when they take it, if they don't take it, what starts happening to their body. So start, you know, if you have to test a little bit, as you're going through, you're like, no, I'm getting a little woozy. Because it's not to take the Lord's name in vain. You can't make that a worthless, the Day of Atonement, a worthless feast day and end up in the hospital. You can't do it, because then you'll do it because you're trying to prove something to somebody else. And that's not the way to do it. The only person you need to prove it to is that one looking in the mirror, because he knows exactly what that crime is. He knows it. He can look and say, oh, boy, it didn't go nowhere. Damn, it ain't tied to food and water. Shit. It's tied up here. And it's going to keep coming back the day after the Day of Atonement. You have to gradually get your stomach gonna shrink. You may have to get some chicken noodle soup. You may have to do something. You just can't go get that Hardee's burger that's this big. That means you're trying to eat for yesterday. Right. No, y'all, we can't play games with ourselves. That's good. Y'all, we good? We need to move on. Any more questions out there? We good? You good, comrade? Yeah. Where we at?
Isaiah 58 chapter, right?
Yes, sir. 3 through 8. Isaiah, y'all, and this is, y'all, it starts off, this Isaiah 51:2, talking about blow the trumpet. So we're just picking up the next part of our feast day that's coming up, the Day of Atonement, with the fast. We're going to get into a little Matthew 6 so y'all understand the fast, how to have it. Look, if you have to go to work, bro, you know, a lot of times we're supposed to save our vacation days for these days. to be off because it's gonna be trouble. They're gonna be cooking. People gonna be eating lunch around. You're gonna pass 1,000 restaurants. That's why you say if your mental ain't on point, stay at home. Don't go. And another thing is, if you have to work, you have to make sure it's not exhaustive work. Right. If you're a carpenter, if you work on the streets and you ain't had no water and the food, you're gonna dry out real quick. Yeah. That's why the preparation day, get hydrated. Get hydrated if your work gonna push you into this area, because the bottom line is you may be on 2 points. Don't show up tomorrow, we're gonna show you some atonement. Rufus be like this, yeah, I've been on your desk anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So we have to be careful, y'all, that if you have to go to work, that's why we're gonna get into this Mark chapter 2. I had it Matthew chapter 2, but it should be Mark on what you got. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that so you understand the priesthood that we're under now, because we've been thrust into captivity. Same feast apply, but a different way how to look at it and object it. But it's gonna be on you, because the Messiah is gonna judge your thoughts. Y'all, we cannot go to work. We can do it according to the letter, but if you doing it any other reason than to get that poison out of your system, he gonna let you know about it, because he's gonna show you your thoughts about the Day of Atonement. He gonna show you counting it down. 10 hours, 15 minutes, and 13 seconds left. You ain't hasting, you just rocking. Well, that bell ring, you on speed dial. Get it, Josh, get it. Let's get it, y'all, so we get caught up. We finished that Leviticus? Yeah, we finished. Let's get that Mark chapter 2, because Isaiah 50, I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, let's get it.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 3.
What it say?
Wherefore have we fast?
Wherefore have we done what?
Fast. Say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore have we afflicted our souls, and thou takest no knowledge.
See, and this is what they're asking. We the fasting, ain't nobody taking no knowledge or what's going on. The knowledge is for you to get yourself together. You don't have to worry about nobody else taking word or understanding what this is for you. This is for you to make sure you don't have to worry about fasting again. You ain't gonna have to worry about afflicting your soul again. If you get this right, you move on in now, because you're gonna get rid of what's plaguing you. It's you first, and then everybody else. Let's get it. Where we at?
Behold, in the day of your fast you find pleasure, and exact all your labors. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate.
See, fasting for strife. If we arguing about this ain't about no argument. All we have to do is get the days and times right. Some of us, we use a calendar that we use, and we use Shmanuyah as a backup, who gets the word from Jerusalem, and then we count accordingly, and it seems to line up for us. If somebody out there saying, well, we gonna do it Wednesday, by all means do it Wednesday, but according to what we're going and we're following as one body, as one mind, this is what we're set apart to do it on this day. Y'all, because it's so many apps out there, y'all, who we gonna say, well, they doing it like this because all of it's still forecasted. If you trust it ain't gonna be storming, I mean, who would plan a vacation right now in North Carolina? Man, I don't trust them heathens. How they know the hurricane gonna go there? Nigga, I'm looking for some of that Myrtle Beach sand. What you talking? And you can go on up there, or you gonna trust that forecast, what they showing. So y'all, all of these days are forecasted, because ain't nobody got a lock on it like that, y'all. So there's a margin of the practice area that you may be 12 hours off. You may be 12 hours off. And then you try to narrow that window as you go along as a people, when you go along as a people. Let's read some more.
Behold, ye fast for strife and debate,
right?
And to spite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high.
Right.
Is it such a fast that I have chosen?
He asking, go ahead.
A day for a man to afflict his soul, Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast and an acceptable day of the Lord?
See, and the Lord is asking, he said, y'all fast for strife and debate. Y'all want to argue about this thing. And then the Lord said, is this a day to afflict your soul? Is this a day? That's what I chose it for you to get rid of that bad behavior. So he's asking the question, but y'all, we can't get into strife and debate about this, because what is that going to bring in your mind? Man, them niggas say y'all crazy as hell over there doing it. Now, what's going to be on your mind when you need to be working on this? Ain't fast for strife and debate, y'all. You got to get locked in, be fully persuaded in your mind. Y'all, we finna roll with this and let the chips fall where they may. Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness?
To do what?
Loose the bands
of
wickedness.
To loose the bands of wickedness. That's why he chooses this fast for you. There's bands of wickedness. It's a handcuff. You know how a dog run and then he forget that chain on and then it's snatching back? That's what we got to get rid of. Let's get it.
To undo the heavy burden.
To undo the what burden?
Heavy burden.
Heavy burdens, y'all. Not no lightweight deal that where, man, I'm just doing a fast. No, man. Say, man, I fast regularly anyway. There ain't no thing for a player. No, this for heavy burdens. That thing that have you doing like this and looking out in his face all the time.
Right.
What's wrong? Nothing. Something wrong, you looking like that. Look, damn it, didn't I tell you ain't nothing wrong? Y'all, we got to loosen that. This day, if your mind is focused, get rid of that, because you push your chips to the center and you say, Lord, I'm all in. Let's get some more.
And to let the oppressed go free. And that ye break every yoke.
How many yokes?
Every yoke.
Right.
Verse 7. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry?
Right.
And that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house?
Right.
When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him?
That's right.
And that thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh?
Don't hide from your own flesh. How you gonna hide from what's plaguing you? You don't think it's coming around the corner as soon as you turn the corner? Because it's within you. You drag it everywhere you go. It's to break that chain. We get verse 8.
Verse 8. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning.
What should your light do?
Break forth as the morning.
As the morning, y'all. Just like you see a storm and then the sun come out the next day. You like all of that last night, and boy, the sun is shining like it never happened. Let's read some more.
And thine health.
And thy what?
Health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy reward.
Reward. The double up, y'all. The double up, because you're going to enjoy it more because you got rid of the burden. Right now, we're splitting our blessings. We got them going between what we don't want to let go of. So you're sharing your blessing with the bad side of you. That cuts into your blessing and shorten your blessing. He's ready to cut that off so you can get rid of that and you can enjoy your blessing. And it's a reward, a double up. Is we done with that? Y'all, we're going to speed this up, y'all. Let's get on to y'all. We're going to move a little bit quick, y'all. So let's get this Mark 2, because a lot is asking if I got to go to work that day. We're going to get into this Mark 2, and the Messiah going to tell you about when you treating it as the Sabbath, because now we're under the order of Melchizedek, which he is the chief high priest of the order of Melchizedek. And he's saying, now this how you look at the Sabbath day. This is how you look at it. You can't look at it that way under that priesthood. You have to look at it this way. I put y'all in captivity not to punish y'all where y'all can't keep y'all doctor's appointment. I put you there, I already got the fix for y'all. I ain't gonna never leave y'all abandoned, naked and without clothing. I don't do that. We don't come from deadbeat dad material. No, you look out for it. That's why I say the wool was so important. That wool is wisdom. It comes from the same, it's covering and it's food. Where we at? Mark chapter 2, start about verse 18.
Book of Mark, chapter 2, verse 18.
Hold on, they getting there. Y'all, very good questions out there to the worldwide audience too, y'all, but always remember, it's not grievous. It's only to loosen the burdens, the heavy burdens. If you can't stop or walk away from something within 10 seconds, there's a problem. You have to be able to turn away from this materialistic stuff. You have to stop what's going inside. Go ahead, Sid.
When we look at that, all this atonement is he preparing us to meet him like a bride presents herself to a bridegroom.
So we come to the wedding reception.
So we come.
Look, it's to clean you out. It's like what he doing is he revamping everything. Get rid of all that. If you were like this in your former life, get rid of the old man. So you can come to the wedding reception. I ain't marrying leftovers. No sloppy seconds at the wedding. We just have to understand it from that light. Let's get some more. Go ahead, Sid.
And then to understand that no sin can tarry in his sight.
Right. Absolutely. That's what we're talking about, Sid. No sin can tarry or hang around. You can't let that be dragging that in there. Lord, you know my heart. You know I couldn't let this burden go. It's wickedly sweet, Lord. You think he gonna want to hear that? No, he's gonna cut that chain. He gonna cut it off you, but he may be slicing something else because you got that Hebrews 4:12. It's gonna cut swift. It's gonna cut down through the soul, through the spirit, to the marrow of the bone when he cut. Let's get it. Mark chapter 2, verse 18.
And the disciples of John and of the Pharisees used to fast. And they came and say unto him, why do the disciples of John and of the Pharisees fast, but thy disciples fast not?
So, and this is where I want to get to the point when I made it about in Matthew 19, when the man came to him and said, he said, give up all you got and follow me. The bridegroom is on the scene. So they asking the same question here. Your disciple, John's disciples fast, but yours don't. Why they ain't fasting right now? The king is here. Right. It ain't Bobby Brown. The king is here. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto them, can the children of the bride chamber fast while the bridegroom is with them?
See, what are you fasting about? What you're saying, Lord, did I choose the wrong man? What you gonna be fasting about and you waiting on to go out and present yourself to the world? Wonder if I made the right decision. I'm thinking I should have listened to my mom and married Earl from around there to save a lot. You can't be having all of those thoughts right there. You finna go with a lifelong covenant here. Let's read some more.
As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast.
They cannot do what?
They cannot fast.
That's why there ain't gonna be no fasting in the kingdom, and we move right to the tabernacles, which is the harvest for the world. It's Zechariah 14 chapter. We got to get to the what we call the wedding reception. That's what we're trying to get to. Let's get it.
But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days.
The bridegroom was taken away from us back after he resurrected after 3 days and 3 nights. But he said, I'm not going to leave you comfortless. The bridegroom don't do that. Remember, I'm not from the deadbeat dad stock. I'm gonna always make sure something looking out for you. I'm gonna leave y'all with what was on me. You won't be comfortless. So, but the bridegroom himself, in those days we fast. Because we got to beg him and say, we need you. If we don't do it, y'all, if we don't look at it from that perspective, the Messiah will slowly go out of your mind and you start to build your own kingdom. Slowly, you're going to end up doing it. Because guess what? You're going to be tired of waiting and fasting on the bridegroom. But it could come like this because death is promised And he already got your marker when he know, based on your behavior, when your light's going out. That could be this evening, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day. But you don't know, so fasting is in order. Why the bridegroom ain't here? Let's get some more.
Verse 21. No man also seweth a piece of new cloth of an old garment, else the new piece and filled it up, take it away from the old, and the rent is made worse.
See, you can't talk about I'm a new man, I'm a new creature, and I'm still doing that old stuff. You know, a player playing with the scriptures is still a player. He's just playing with the scriptures. But he's still trying to figure out how to be a player in the scripture. You can't put that old garment with the new man. It's going to burst open. And when it bursts open, it's going to be a problem. Because everybody's going to see the leakage. And be like that hospital gown. You're going to be looking sick. And visitors there, and you get up and go to the bathroom and all the back out. I'd be like, damn. Damn, give him some lotion or something. It's like you've been sitting in junkyard rocks. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 22. And no man put a new wine into old bottle.
Right? No man do what?
Put his new wine into old bottle.
Right?
Else the new wine doth burst the bottle.
That's right.
And the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred. But new wine must be put into new bottles. Verse 23. And it came to pass that he went through the cornfield on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began, as they went, to pluck the ears of corn. And the Pharisee said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful?
See, why do they do that? The Pharisees going through the field and they plucking the corn on the Sabbath day. So they basically saying, why them niggas ain't taking starvation first? Why them niggas doing that? Why they plucking corn? The law say you can't put no corn in your pocket.
Right.
Look, if you dead, what is the Sabbath gonna do for you? He said, you can pluck it on your way through, but you can't do that. That's stealing. You're loading up on somebody else, but if you're hungry, because the law said, it tells you when you plant, you have to leave this much of your land for the strangers and different things that may come through so that they can eat. You leave that part for them, but yours is here. There's rules for that. And the Pharisees were so angry at him, they were just pointing out faults no matter what. Now, who gonna question somebody about eating? You know you ain't supposed to be eating that. If some won't get up, they won't look out the window, they won't turn the stove on, they won't do nothing. Because they think it's that, but they've skipped the first part. 6 days you must work. Yo, this is about rest. This is about to make those burdens lighter. You can't do and have all those problems on your mind for 7 days in a row. You are going to shut down. Your immune system is going to crash because you're so weak, because you haven't rested. And then you're going to get delusional. Now, Donald Trump ain't just delusional because he want to be. He can't get rest. He's wondering who's talking about. He's wondering what the stock market is. So he's up after just an hour nap. He's back up. No, don't worry about it. Come on, y'all. Let's get it.
Verse 25.
What'd it say? Yo, we almost out of here.
And he said unto them,
right?
Have you never read what David did? When he had need?
When he had what?
When he had need.
See, this is a difference when he said, have you ever read what David did? When he had need, not want, but need. What was the need? To eat. The Messiah fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And that's when the tempter came. Y'all have to understand what this feast is for. The tempter is going to come while you probably an hour, 2 or 3. He's going to try to get you right off.
Yes.
Right off, he gonna start. And right at the end, he gonna come right back. Right when you at 23 hours and 58 minutes, here you gonna come. You gonna do like you do today? Brother Octone just sent me a picture of his microwave on 3 seconds. You can't cheat the Day of Atonement. You can't cheat it. All you doing is in robot mode. You just understand I'm supposed to do it, and you're not understanding why. You ain't learned your lessons about fasting yet. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Have you never read what David did when he had need?
Right.
And was in hunger?
What was he?
And hungry?
Uh-huh.
He and they that were with him. How he went into the house of Yah in the days of Abiathar, the high priest.
Right.
And did eat the showbread, which is not lawful.
Which is not what?
Which is not lawful to eat but for the priests. And gave also to them which were with him.
So it's telling you, even under the order of Aaron, David was rocking Melchizedek, and what it's talking about is mercy. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The Sabbath came after man. So that we get this clear in our minds, what he's talking about here. It says David was hungry. That showbread was for the priest only. What is David doing eating? Those against the law. That's what he asked in the so-called law-giving. Shalom, Corey family. Let's get it.
Verse 27.
What it say?
And he said unto them, the Shabbat was made for man.
What was the Shabbat?
Made for man. And not man for the Shabbat.
See, there's going to be some Exodus 23 and 12 when you understand this. When you get it up here, what he's talking about right here. If you dead, the Sabbath don't mean nothing to you no more. Right. Especially if you dead and this eternal rest is waiting. Because if you don't make that, you think you having torments now, heavy burdens? You think you got chains on you now? Let's read some more.
Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord, also of the Sabbath.
So right here, he's telling you, I'm high priest over the Sabbath. And I'm telling you this the way you do it. If a man oxen fall in the hole, will he get him out on the Sabbath day? Yes, sir. So if you got to go to work on the Day of Atonement, it's just going to be rougher for you. But you can't switch your order. You better not be looking like you're hungry to your co-workers. How you going to be sitting there nostrils squaring like this and you just smelling their lunch? I ain't gonna eat nothing. That's Turkey Delight he got. And that's a Mountain Dew. Wasting your time. Wasting your time. But if you have to go to work, y'all, get yourself prepared the day before. Hydrate a little bit better. Eat a little something that don't weigh you down and sit in your intestine, but something that gives you energy because you got to get through that day. And y'all, for those that have heavy lifting jobs, you really gonna have to start putting this day in first if you're getting any vacation days. This one gonna have to go first if you got a heavy labor job. If you working out there with that asphalt and it's 112 in the shade and you already sweating, guess what happens when you sweat out? You start to cramp up, right? And then what is the heart? It's a muscle, ain't it? If it cramp up, what's gonna be happening? And they got the thumpers on you in broad TV. There's some activity going on Highway 55. Earl out there is trying to do the Day of Atonement and didn't prepare for it. And they got the thumpers on his chest. He out there sweating like this. Yo, it's gonna be terrible to look for. And they follow that code that they say of the Hebrew Israelites and prepare y'all. If you just learning these feasts, prepare for the next one. Try to get it better and put them days in like he rushed to put them in for them folly days. No, they let him off on Christmas last year. I'm gonna be first. Let him not be first. I'm going in at his office and tell him. Same way about the Day of Atonement. Go in that office and tell him. You need that day off first. And believe me, the rest of the world ain't gonna be doing it. It ain't gonna be hard for you to get the day off. Because our feast days can land anywhere. Let's get it, y'all. Well, we finished that, y'all. So I just wanted to read that to let you know who's the Lord of the Sabbath. And he gave an example of David under Aaron's or the Mosaic law. He showed you David getting treated with the mercy of Melchizedek. Because under that law, David was supposed to be dead with Bathsheba. Supposed to have been dead. With that one. Dead. It ain't like they don't know who did it. The baby was clear. The prophet Nathan came to him. Why is David still alive? Because he saw the Messiah sitting at the right hand of the Father in Psalm 110 and knew he was already under orders right then, but he had to go through Aaron, like the Messiah went through Aaron until the veil was rent. And when it switched over back to the priesthood, which we are under now, our deal is to use them nostrils to sniff out as if anybody's still cheating at Mount Sinai with this law. Sniff it out. I smell sulfur. I smell wilderness. If it ain't the wilderness of the people, what you got? Yo.
So when the veil rented, was that the end of the priesthood of
for Aaron?
So no priest would have to go to the
Holy of Holies.
Holy, you can see back there now. Right. Everything you can see back there now. It was cut off. It's letting you see that priesthood has decreased all the way. You got a new sheriff in town. Right. He's taking over. Same laws, different priesthood. This one comes with mercy and truth. But you may get away with it in this world. But at Judgment Day, he said, I ain't forgot how I give out whoopings or nor blessings. But you're going to tell on you, because I'm going to judge you by your consciousness, what you thought. If you gave money to the poor, if you gave that wrong, that's going to be judged according to 1 Corinthians 13. How you doing charity? You do your charity before men? You pop out a 20. Hungry man, here you go. How I get down. It ain't charity. Where we at? Let's finish this up, y'all. We ain't got but a few minutes.
Where we going, man?
We're going right to Matthew 6:16, y'all. Then we're gonna hit this neighbor, how to love our neighbor, y'all. We're gonna close out with 1 John 5 and Revelation 22. We're gonna wind it up in that, y'all. We're gonna hit this Matthew 6:16. And this is for the atonement, y'all. And then we're going to get back to why atonement is clearing us out, so we learn to respect the people you say you want to live around, starting out at 1,000 years, eternal rest. This is what you're practicing for. How to live with the people you say, this my brother, this my sister, this my neighbor. It starts at 1,000 years. If you can't get along with nobody for the weekend, this ain't in your ballpark. Right. Shit, Friday you was cussing them out, and Sunday evening you pick it back up. I hope that black mother say something to me at work.
So this is where he talks about community. This is where he prepares us for community, where we use, I was sitting trying to think of the Hebrew name of community, and it talks about, because when he says, love your brother as yourself.
Right.
Community.
Right, and community could be, we got a community of love in Atlanta. We got a community of love in Memphis. We got a community that's not bound by offense. It's only bound by truth. So that's why he say in the kingdom, you'll have 1,000 cattle on the hill. And in my Father's house is many mansions. You don't put no mansions inside a compound. We're not talking about compound living. I know what you're saying, sister, but I just want to get that clear, that when the kingdom comes, it's going to be like Abraham had so many flocks and herds that him and Lot had to separate. And that was on this level. So you can imagine on a spiritual level, your next neighbor may be a couple hills away. That may be your next neighbor, but it's eternity. And everybody will be like that. Where we at? Start at 14? Matthew 6? Start at 14, y'all say? Who said 14? Okay. Start at 14.
Look at Matthew chapter 6, verse 14. For if ye forgive men their trespass, your heavenly Father will also forgive you.
So back up before that, they asked at the beginning of Matthew, teach us how to pray. So y'all, the Bible is an instruction book. You don't have to get an opinion from nobody. Every spirit has each one of those 7 powerful spirits, wisdom and tongues and healing, and all of them have a separate instruction of how to take control of that spirit, so to speak, and let it work within your body. The whole first chapter, 1 Corinthians 14, is the whole instruction manual on speaking in tongues. These Psalms is telling you how to deal with this part of the law of that gift. Ecclesiastes tell you how to deal with wisdom, and Proverbs tell you how to deal with the spirit of wisdom. Wisdom is not the Holy Spirit, it's just one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. It's a chief and powerful one because it supersedes all material wealth or anything like that. And then you got healings, and then you got miracles, and then you got these gifts, but all these gifts are powerful. Let's get some more. Where we at?
But then, that's where we started off with Psalms 119, and we started off with all of that.
Yeah.
And when you said one miracle once, I think it was right after them, it's Ayin, which is A-Y-I-N, which means the eyes to see.
Okay.
It goes along with the other scriptures in the New Testament, and all this is what you're saying now. They have the different parts of the law.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All of it, and that's when you study in your letters and you know your letters. It's not that you can just speak Hebrew. You have to apply its meaning. Man, that Hebrew name for this means that, but it still has to be applied according to its 8 verses in your life, so you know your letter. That's what the Pharisees asked the Messiah. How did he know his letters like that and they learned? But what was he putting on them but word and truth? If you do this, then what's the outcome of that? If David called him Lord, then how is he his son? He know his letters. These are the questions he asked. Or we talk about the chicken or the egg, which came first? These are the questions he asked in them. And they said, he know his letters. Hey, who teaching like that? Nicodemus, he said, man, I don't know nothing about them letters like that. That's why he was creeping around at night. You ain't from around these parts. I know all these Negroes around here claiming they high priests. What you doing ain't from this planet. I've been around a while. What you're doing is not from planet Earth. You're not like us in that perspective. And it's a chief ruler. But he was kind of concerned about who would see him, asking him questions. Because he's a chief ruler. But y'all, it worked for us. People with PhDs is sitting at your kneecap. Man, what that say? You can't read this like your literature that you got your PhD from. If you understand a doctorate degree in college and everything, this is written totally, it don't care nothing about your PhD. Hell, I got a PhD. A public high diploma. That's as far as it went. But I got one. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Yeah, Matthew 6, verse 15.
What it say?
But if ye forgive not men their trespass, neither will your Father forgive your trespass.
Right.
Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites.
So let me just get back. If you don't forgive men of their trespasses, there's a rule to it. Luke 17, 1-4, Matthew 18, I forget what verse it is, but Matthew 18. So it'll get you, I think it's about verse 16, but it gets you to the point of how to forgive somebody. If they don't repent, you do not forgive them. They plan on doing it again. It says they must repent. It cannot be a part 2 of this same sin towards you. But how many times should I forgive him? 7 times 70. How many times is that? 490. 490 times should I forgive him, but they can't be the same sins. He can't steal and then come back and steal again and say, I'm sorry. If he do it again, you didn't set him up. You're going to put your wallet there and say, I'm going to run to the store. Wait till I'll be right back. And you got a $100 bill sticking out of your wallet like that, left it on the table. Drive just around the block, come back and say, I forgot my wallet, and it ain't there. Man, you see my wallet? Then if it's in his pocket, it's some trouble. For one, you can't test him like that to see if he didn't quit stealing. You can't put him in that position. That's bait call. You gonna leave money around and you know he's still, I'm gonna see if this nigga truly repents. That's not what the script say. You're not forgiving him his trespass at that point. You'd have lured him back in to see if his bad behavior is there. If you don't trust him like that, come on, man, get your hat. We going to the store. Come on, man, we finna go over here. Come on, man, we finna go over here. Ain't nothing in these scriptures say trust your possession like that and leave your house in a strong man in there. Your possession ain't gonna be the same when you come back. Jewels may be gone. Walking bow-legged may be in the mix. Let's read on, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 16. More, when you fast, be not as the hypocrite.
Be not as who?
As the hypocrite.
Okay.
Of a sad countenance.
Of a sad countenance. Look, the Day of Atonement, whether you didn't get this day off early and you got to go to work, it cannot be a sad look. You can't be looking like, have pity on me today. You got to be looking cheerful, strong, sitting up there. Let's read some more.
For they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
You got your reward of men. All the praise that men gonna get you. Why you looking like that? Fast, that's honorable, boy. You sure doing an honorable thing. You fast, yeah, I'll do it also. But just trying to do right by the Lord. That's your reward. That's all you getting, the praise of them that don't know nothing about fast. You ought to be sitting in there like this. Man, you ain't less today. Nah, man, just chilling. Got my mind focused on something else. I ain't worried about how you look like it. And keep it moving. It said, like it say, put some Afro sheen in your hair. Put that lip chap on there and get moving. How you gonna have going to work like you fast, dehydrated, lips look like they've been struck by light, cracked all up, and I just can't type today. I can't dig today. I'm fasting. Let's read.
Verse 17.
What it say?
But thou, when thou fast, anoint thy head and wash thy face.
Do what you normally do every day. Afro Sheen or Sofa 8 or Glover's Mane, whatever you put in there. Do it regular. And wash your face. It said you don't drink water. It didn't say you couldn't put water on your face, on your... See, I don't wash my body. I don't do nothing. I just go like, no. You take a shower. You can't be stinking so somebody. I'm just fasting, man. I know it's yanging a little bit, but. And the rest of you walking with your arms like this for the rest of the fast. Because you mistaken that no water means going down your throat and your belly, not on your outer cup to cleanse you and get you clean. Let's read some more.
Verse 18.
What it say?
That thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto the Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret,
right,
shall reward thee openly.
How he gonna reward you?
Reward thee openly.
Right.
Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
Where you lay them up at?
In heaven. Where the moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. If you fasted for men, you got your reward. That's where your treasure is. If you're looking for a kingdom here on earth that's not descending from down, that's where your treasure at. That's all you got coming. Yo, it's why when people sell their soul, then they try to run back to the Lord. You just sold it for a 5-album deal, and 2 of the albums you get to sing for yourself. But now them 3 other albums that you done signed, we already got the writers. This is what you'll be singing. I can't sing that. My grandmama killed me. Or you can give us all our money back for that breach of contract. Mm-hmm. Now, Big Mama's going to have to get out of that house. Your grandson going to have to get out of that Mercedes Benz. Or sing the contract. Them 5 albums, your reward. There you go.
You start mumbling.
Sing sand, nigga.
Mumble rapping.
And drop it low and I'll pick it up. Y'all, we play with a crafty adversary that don't never go to sleep. Let's read some more, y'all. We're gonna get on out of here. Where we at?
Verse 22.
What it say?
The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
We can hold right there, y'all. So what we're talking about, he's talking about that pineal gland or pineal gland right here. That's the eye of the mind. If that's single and you're not worried about these two lusts, this one is supernatural. You can't let this eye lust supernaturally because it's going to work on these two. Y'all, we have to be extra careful around here, y'all, with these days coming up. Exodus 22 and 20, y'all, we got a couple, we're going to get on out of here. And I just wanted to read a little bit of the law and understanding about your neighbor because we're winding up the second half on these 2 hang the commandments. All of those, y'all, we had to just get through atonement because that was coming up. That middle one was about atonement. And then as we move back to the Feast of Tabernacles that's coming up, that where you have to truly love your neighbor and understand how to be around people and not transgress or fall into another man's sins. And y'all, you are the best guard for any of that. That's why I keep saying, be ye not deceived. Deception is willful. Because the devil don't give free cases. He says, hear what your God say, but the dark side, if you don't ever know about it, you won't have full understanding. I don't need to know about that. He say, don't do it, I ain't gonna do it. Don't need to know about the dark side. I don't care about it. What you mean how I know I don't like it? The Lord said I wasn't gonna like it. That's good enough for me. Because who you gonna come back to, the Lord or Satan, when you do taste it and it tastes like a Belch White Castle? Who you gonna come back to? You ain't gonna go back to Satan. Let's get it, y'all. Exodus 22 and 20. Y'all, we're gonna read a couple of these, y'all. We're gonna skip through it. We're gonna get ready to close out.
Reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 20.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding. He that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto the Most High only, he shall be utterly destroyed.
So this is telling y'all, we were in affiliation with different people, but you couldn't worship their God. You're gonna somebody may be having a business over here that's of another nation or whatever, but the product is what it is. You just can't get into affiliation. You can't join league with that. Mm-hmm. You may have to deal with it. Solomon traded wheat to hire a bit for lumber, for timber for the temple. But it wasn't no type of spiritual covenant agreement. This was business agreement. When you look in that 4th chapter of 1 Kings 4th chapter, you see Solomon with the daughter of Pharaoh, and he came into a league with her. But yet, further down, he gets the blessing. So was this the one that turned his heart, or was this just a deal that where when you're dealing with kings, you usually have to deal with their daughter. See, if you look at what's right in front of you like Trump, but everybody's dealing with Ivanka. She's making the deals for her dad. So this sometimes you get into them leagues like that. It wasn't until later on. Now, if that happened later on, she started to talk about her God. The business deal then went away. And something else overpowered that business deal. But the key words was, he got old. He got old. Then they made their move on. When you talking about Solomon, 1,000 women, 700 wives, 300 concubines, and he get old, word going out, y'all, he can't do it. He got excuses. He can't do it. Mandrake don't work no more. Y'all read the Songs of Solomon and see Mandrake was all through there, and then do a study on Mandrake. Mandrake is what made Rachel finally conceive. He wasn't doing it no more. Solomon. 1,000 women saw. Don't work no more. Don't work no more. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where we at?
We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 21.
What it say?
Thou shalt neither vex a stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
So don't never forget where you come from. Don't burn your bridges. You gotta leave a job, give them a 2-week notice. Don't burn your bridges. This job may not be what all it was started out to be. You gotta be able to say, I'm back. If you leave good, you can come back right. You leave home wrong. When you come back, you still gotta get some act right. But if you leave like you're supposed to, y'all, I'm a grown man now. I'm gonna take my business out of your house, mom. You don't have to worry about that cussing out about me in the basement no more. I'm gonna leave and do this. You can always come back home. Time get rough. Let's read some more.
Verse 22.
What it say?
Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
This same thing the Messiah say. He brought a little child up to me, said, bring that little baby over here. You see this? This is what the kingdom of heaven is like. If any offend this, it'd be better that they had not been born.
That's right.
Your father wasted his time. It'd been better you had not been born than to touch children, y'all, because that's innocent. It's about the only innocence we got left in this flesh. Because as you get older and learn more things, Satan is attacking at a high level now. And he's attacking what you think you learned and what you done got rid of. But if it ain't been no day of atonement, he coming for that heavy burden. And everybody in here know what their heavy burden is. Ain't nobody got to tell it to you. You know it. Let's read some more.
Verse 24. And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword.
What he gonna do?
Will kill you with the sword. And your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury.
What does that mean? Usury means to exact more than you gave out. Interest. Because the script tell you in the book of Sirach about usury. Usury, or however it's pronounced. How to deal with your brother. Don't put them payday loan charges on. Especially with the poor. How you gonna do that to somebody on crack? Nigga, I'm gonna give you 20, but I want 40 back. How? Where you think you gonna get it from? The minute he put the smoke up in the air, could be his last breath. What you gonna do? Whoop him in the casket? No, nigga, you ain't getting out of here like that. Where my $20? So the script tell you don't be a co-signer. Don't let them come and take your baby. How you gonna co-sign for him a house and you in an apartment? I mean, what you now, if he don't make the payments, guess who got to make them payments? You got 2 sets of payments. And they say, since you can't make it, we coming for our stuff to get our money back. Now your bed gone. Lend what you can afford to lose. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't get $300 today. Man, you was the only person I can think about. I got $62 of that $300 you need. Will that help you? Man, but I'm just saying, man, you know, you can't pawn. What pawn my necklace? I got $62 of that $300 you need. And that's it, y'all. What you think they're gonna turn it down? Either they're gonna turn it down, they're gonna go to the next one who may give it to them. But you can't put yourself in a position where you're gonna be harmed by that, because you can't put that on your brother, let alone, and usually it means threats too. Don't have my money served and see what happens. See what happens. How you gonna loan and then threaten? That's loan sharking, ain't it? The mob do that. Curtis Blow had a jam out there. These are the breaks. You borrow money from the mob. And yesterday you lost your job. These are the breaks. And it's going to be a lot of breaks. Your arm, your kneecap, and then you still got to give them that money, don't you? Let's read some more, brother.
We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down.
Before the end of day. You can't take that over into the next day. No sins move to the next day. That's why we have at evening time and the street lights come on. Like your parents say, be in the house before street lights come on, because we're going into a new day. See, the only difference is day in America just starts at midnight. It's still night. Our day just started at sundown, which we can say like 6 p.m., so to speak, you know, when you're counting the clock, 24-hour clock. So you had to make sure sins don't go over there. That's why it was something called the evening prayer. Yes, sir. So you don't take those sins into the next day. And then you go to bed. If you mad at your other half, how you gonna be in the bed fired up like that? That's what some say, go to another corner of the house, because you can't let that be seen that you still angry and you're in the same bed. And you close your eyes. Move over. Give me the cup. Your long night. You ain't been to function at work. Go ahead.
Verse 27.
What it say?
For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious.
So, y'all, what it's saying is, don't let nobody have to come to the Lord about you breaking these laws and you supposed to know them. He say, I'm a hearing. You ain't got to worry about it. I'm a hearing. Because if you doing anything, if you manipulating these scriptures for your gain, I'm a hearing. I already know about it. I put it down. I know how it has to be exact. And I'm going to put your conscience on trial. And worry about no second and third witness. Your preacher ain't gonna be there. Your partner ain't gonna be there. It's gonna be me and your conscience. And I'm gonna play back what you thinking right before you. And y'all think about that. He gonna play your conscience back before you, so you can see what you were thinking. As a man thinketh, so is what? Let's read some more.
Verse 28.
What it say?
Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
Right.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquor.
Of thy what?
Of thy liquor. The firstborn of thy sons shall thou give unto me.
The firstborn, he said, I want all of your best. Give them to me. So firstborn sons was dedicated to the Lord to serve in the temple. You know, you're going to get some more children, but you got to give me, you know, your best. Look, how you gonna give me that boy in the wheelchair? So you gonna keep the starting linebacker, and you gonna give me this boy. You gonna wheel him down the aisle to the front of the church. Where we at?
Verse 30. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen. and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam.
With his what?
With his dam.
So a dam is just a mother of any creation or species. That's what a dam is. Go ahead. So go ahead and read that again.
Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it to me.
And if we look at that from a spiritual perspective, 7 days with the mother before you circumcise this child. You giving them to the Lord at that point. That was our christening for the men. Different thing for the women. So this is just kind of giving instruction. Go ahead, because it's talking about a son at this point. That firstborn son, give him to me. You know, and that's been all throughout. I forget this brother, what's the brother name in Judges 11th chapter? The one that mother was a harlot. Japheth, whatever his name, y'all read Judges 11th chapter. He had a daughter, and he gave the Lord a burnt offering. It wasn't an oxen or a sheep, it was his firstborn daughter. And he said, the first one come out of my house, whoever greet me first, it was his only child. But he made that promise to the Lord, and he stuck with it. He like, you got to go to the temple, baby. You finna serve out your days serving the Lord. And then it say all the other sisters got with it and bemoaned her virginity because she was still a virgin. At this point, it said, you ain't gonna get married. Your life is gonna be the temple. That's the deal your father made with the Lord. This is where you're gonna spend your life. And they bemoaned her virginity, meaning they had to comfort her about, you ain't gonna never have a husband. The Lord is your husband now. You ain't gonna know this physicality part right here. But y'all, it's supernatural. Yes. And when you get that feeling of supernatural, it's a reason you holler, oh. Yeah. But, but you need to elevate it a little bit more. So you ain't calling that person God. If y'all understand what I mean. I'm trying to keep it clean for the show right. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dog.
You should cast to the dog. So we can't eat no roadkill. Basically what it's saying, no roadkill. Okay, how hungry you is? Can't eat no roadkill. Let's hit just a little bit of this 22. No, where we at 23 and 1. We're just gonna read a couple more, y'all. We're gonna get to 1 John 4, and we're gonna close on out. So 23 and 1. And y'all, what we are doing is we're getting what we're trying to focus on is the name. What you got, Gant? Judge chapter 11. What's his name? Zeph. What's his name? Yeah, what's his name? No, the guy's name. The great warrior. Guess not. Judge 11. Y'all know I'm terrible with names. Yeah. So, that was the brother that mother was a harlot. So that lets you know that it ain't about all how you got here. It's what you do when you get here. When you get of age, you can change from whatever you came from. And you can become a superstar for the Lord, so to speak, and keep your oath with the Lord and your promise. And that's what he did. He gave his only child. So y'all have to truly understand what he did. I made the promise. At least I know what she doing. She ain't gonna be getting run through. Unless she in the Catholic Church. Or who the Catholic Church been teaching it to. Let's read some up.
The book of Exodus.
Just saying the mother of harlots, y'all. They sit upon many waters. If it ain't the gospel of Christ through the virgin birth, it's a doctrine of the whore that sitteth upon many waters.
I got you. 23.
Yes, sir.
31, yeah.
Thou shalt not raise a false report.
Thou shalt not do what?
Raise a false report.
What we call that? Free case. Let's read.
Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Yeah, I saw it. You ain't saw nothing. How you saw it and you was way across time? You just want to get in on it. Can't be partakers of another man's sin. Don't be a part of wicked judgment. Let's read some more.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Thou shalt not do what?
Follow a multitude to do evil.
Y'all got to understand that's mob activity. You got to be careful on Black Lives Matter. You can't just march everywhere and get your head bust to the white meat. You got to be careful. There may be mob activity going on. You may have victims. They mix people up in there.
Yeah.
They pay people to throw bottles through windows. As they did when you talk about Martin Luther King, their brother said they paid us to bust all the windows and start a few fires over here, and you with the crowd. You just can't run because somebody else going. Let's read some more.
Neither shall thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment.
See, speak after a cause to decline after many to rest judgment, to twist it. You don't even know what's going on. You in the middle of this trying to straighten something out. You don't know what happened at the beginning of this. At least get that. This gonna force you to twist and rest what the situation is. Let's read some more.
Neither shall thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thy enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
How you gonna do that? If your enemy, but we know through Micah 7 chapter, Matthew 10, our enemies has become the foes of our own household. If you talk about who ain't listening to you, if it's 10 people, 9 of them your family members.
That's right.
They become your enemy. Your own household, your enemy. But if you see something happen with your enemy, you can't just drive the nail in him. If you see something belong to him, just drive by and throw it over his fence. If you don't want to get that close, but you cannot have that type of malice in your heart that when you see something, because the Lord, he's saying, I'm trying to see how you deal with mercy. I need to know your mercy level. I need to, because he said, I'm going to treat you how you treat others. That's how I'm going to judge you. Matthew 23. I'm going to judge you how you treat others. Matthew 7, I should say. I'm going to judge not lest you be judged, and whatever measure you judge, that's how I'm going to judge you. If you deal with situations this way, this is how I'm going to deal with you. You ain't got no mercy for you. You treat this person like that, no mercy for you. I'm treating you just like that. Let's read some more.
If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden,
Yeah, we talking about a donkey. Go ahead.
and wouldest forbear to help him,
Right.
thou shalt surely help with him.
See, it's basically saying if you see your enemy jack this car up and the jack slipped, good for that nigga.
That's what he did.
That's what he get. No, you got to try to get that car up off of him. You just can't drive by. You have to understand, we're not talking about just doing something to like say you're trying to gain a point. Well, we're talking about a life and death situation. We're talking something here. This ain't no play. They ain't talking about something simple. They're talking about life on the line. If you're able to straighten that out, you're either gonna gain a friend or he's gonna remember that for the rest of his life. But it's just a good deed to go on your books. It ain't gonna kill you. But we're not just talking about that means you got to take or do whatever it is. No, it's clear because it defines if it's trouble like this, if his oxen fell on him, he's gonna be dead shortly. You know how much an ox weighs? Couple 100 pounds, only 1,500 pounds. He gonna slowly run out of breath.
Yeah.
You just hit it on this rear end and it's run on off. You ain't even got to say, yeah, nigga, you owe me. No, you just go on and drive on off. He'll know, he'll look. That must have been an angel of the Lord. And you keep it moving. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Right. Twist the judgment of a poor man. You gonna trick him up. He ain't got no money for no attorney or nothing, and you working him off. Twisting him up because you know he can't afford to take care of this. Let's read some more. And these are about our neighbor, y'all, that we gotta get it together. Let's read some more.
Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not.
And the who slay thou not?
The innocent and the righteous slay thou not. For I will not justify the wicked, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise. and perverted the words of the righteous.
What does this mean? Can't take no gifts? Abraham took gifts from Pharaoh. Isaac took gifts. Joseph got put on the ring. Daniel got put on. No gifts? Or is it the gift to compromise your soul? Because either that or you got to answer then. You know what I'm saying? You got to answer that. He sent Eliezer with gifts to Rebekah, didn't he? And they parents, didn't he? Y'all ever read that Genesis 24? The gifts that was laid out, what Rebekah had on her wrist, she had about 12,500 in just bracelets. And then he gave fancy gauze of Egypt to all her brothers and sisters. They was maxed out. No gifts. Or is this talking about to compromise your soul? Because you know what, after he gave all them gifts, you know what he still said? He told her, will you go? She still had a choice to keep them gifts and not go. But that's what it was. But that wasn't no thing to Abraham. Let's read some more.
Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt. So
we get a lot of times, do y'all have white people in your camp? Yes, we do. Where it say we can't? What's Bathsheba doing with Uriah the Hittite and David's arm? What is Doeg the Edomite doing now? Guarding the priests that we just read about that in that Mark 2. When David went to eat the showbread, he was there guarding the priests. What are we gonna do about already married couples? You in America, they know them pitfalls before we even got to tell them. But if it's already there, it is what it is, because if it's on the right point and it's focused on the law of our God, they're inheritors. I didn't write it. It was written right here. And this just told us again about the stranger, not the strange, the stranger. You don't throw nobody out because what you gonna do? Tell them to get a divorce? Every wife you done had was wicked. How you gonna make him get a divorce and his wife with him? Cause she have another day, but you got 10 that's dragging women that's Israelites.
Dragging with their head covered.
Go. So what are we talking about here? We talking spirit of flesh. So when y'all ask us a question, we gonna ask you the question. Explain how it was allowed back then under the law, and it was looked at as righteousness, and then we move forward. You think if we remove them, it's gonna change? It ain't gonna change the wickedness if they gone, because the wickedness ain't about them. It's about you and this day of atonement. When all that changed, that's the least of our worries. You ain't tired of them. They ain't no burden to you. I can't study if I see them in there. Well, you ain't studying anyway.
Exactly.
right.
Don't come down here and get your study at home then. Don't come around us with that. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 10.
What it say?
And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land.
Right.
And shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat.
See, so you got to give your land a producing time off so that other people can eat freely. Whatever grows in that 7 years, it just grows. That's for all of the poor. Y'all, we got to continue to remember the poor, because it keeps you teaching yourself how to give. It's a difference in the poor and a beggar. Ecclesiastes say in Sirach, all bread is sweet to a beggar. A beggar's life is not to be counted as a life. Poor means you lost your job, you lost your home, but you're looking for the come up. Begging is just, this sign I got here, we'll work for food. This a bunch of BS.
Yes,
I ain't gonna work for no food. I just need a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Cause you tell them, get on the back of this truck. You through cooking yet? Yeah, I got help right here. They on the back of it. What? No. But he was here. His sign's still back there.
Sign's still in the air.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's get these last couple, y'all. We're gonna get on out of here. Where we at?
Verse 11.
What it say?
Finish it off. And what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat.
See, so he making sure everything eat. What mankind leave next fall to the beasts. But you're in charge of beasts. So everything eats, y'all. Let's read some more.
Well, you know what? I don't mean to stop you. It's just funny what you said, man, because I'll pull up to the light. You know, my truck, I got a 4-door truck. I'll pull up to the light and I got ladders and stuff on the back of my truck. See, like them niggas put them signs down.
Yeah, boy. Hey, boy, you coming with kryptonite. Boy, that's the sign. But look, you know what you have to do so you don't get it mixed up with a big descriptor. You can't turn an eye away from the poor. You have to look them in their eye. If they up to no good, they'll look away because they read your eye. I saw you up here yesterday. That car ran out of gas in the same exact spot yesterday. How do you keep running out of gas in the same spot? And they'll see you and they'll just go to the next car. No, you need to be messed with. But you have to look at the poor. You ain't got to give them nothing, but you have to look at them. You can't turn your eye away from them. You have to look them in the eye. You know, and if you're not obligated to give, you move on. You know, if you give them some, you can't worry about it. If you see them out there the next day, you can't worry about it. You didn't give it to them for you to regulate for them to do with what they want. Just read some more.
In like manner, thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. 6 days thou shalt do thy work. And on the 7th day thou shalt rest.
See, and it keeps coming back to resting on the 7th day, y'all. Look, work is gonna still gotta be done, but it's what's called maintaining work, or you got to explain the Father never did anything else after he rested on the 7th day. Did he do any more work? He maintained work. They messing up, go straighten that out. They messing up, go straighten that out. So he worked from that perspective, but it wasn't creation work. It wasn't his weekly work. It wasn't what it took. So in like manner, it's that same type situation, you know, but sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you may have to work your job on the 7th day. Some people are cooks. They work for a restaurant. Their biggest business is on the weekend. But we got like family down there that run Jerk Soul. Y'all had that Jerk Soul yet?
It's hard.
Ooh, boy. Y'all didn't get out of Jerk Soul. Some Negroes down there running good, Brother Taylor and his wife. Right there on Salisbury and Hyde Park right there. But they close on the Sabbath because they run their own business. So they're working for themselves. They can't do 7 days of that. So, but they're in ownership. They run it. You know what I'm saying?
So they open the mall.
Yeah, they open them all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's read some more.
That thine ox and thine ass may rest.
That thy what?
Thy ox and thy ass may rest.
See, why do you think there's a rest stop for your car? It's not only for you, it's for the car too. You just can't run that car like that 80, 90 miles for this many hours straight. That car gonna cough one time and you and you get out, you rest and let that car rest, and then you get back on the road. Because it will shut down. It's saying I'm overheating. I've been running too hard. I gotta shut down. Now truck drivers might know about this. They gotta have a log now, how long they've been on the road. You can't be in them 1,000 pounds like this, loaded with stuff on the back, and you blinking. Pull it off. The money ain't worth it. You ain't gonna be spending it anyway when they uncrumple that metal and pull you out of there. Everybody else gonna be spending that money. So y'all get your rest after you work 6 days. You can't rest from resting. This month, it's through the week. And then the Sabbath coming. That's 7 days of that. He's saying you were more worried about cutting on lights and doing this. Is that first part been met? Let's read some more.
And the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed.
Maybe what?
Refreshed.
Right? So y'all see the key word, refreshed? This is, y'all, it ain't grievous. It's just so your body recharges. You're refreshed. Ain't nothing like waking up like this. Ooh, that was a good one. I needed that. And sometimes the Lord will make you quick. You try to take a quick nap because you finna go somewhere else and you already on 23 hours. Guess when you'll wake up? 2 days later. I missed the concert! Man, what the OJ's towed down and then Cameo came out, bro, and then, man. What you gonna do? Cuss out the Most High because he put you to rest? He'll do it. Let's read some more, y'all. We're gonna get out of here. How far you on? What verse you on? 13. What you got, sis?
When the natural is saying what in Hebrew it says in the presence of the Creator in sleep.
What happens now? Say.
So in Hebrew it says, or it mentions the fact that when you sleep, your spirit being, if you're in righteousness, will be in the presence of God, or your soul will go into that place where it's in the presence of the Father, to the righteousness. So it's like you're reviewing yourself in the Father.
Well, right, and you just keep it what he say because the devil attacks first in your sleep. If you're already tired, you can have on whatever armor you going. You can have fringes on your drawers and be up under them covers. But that ain't gonna do you no good when that devil come in your sleep and you kicking them covers up to the ceiling fan, trying to get them off you in your sleep. And if you weak and you tired, you're going to give in your sleep. And when you give in your sleep, you're going to give in when you wake up. You're going to go right exactly to that struggle because now you're scared. You don't want to go back to sleep. That's why David always prayed, let my sleep be sweet. Let my sleep be sweet. And that means clear the air that you don't take no sins into the next day or transgress into the next day. Your sleep will be sweet. When the devil come at you, you're guarded up. Because if you don't, you only going to dream about your enemy. And if it's your better half, you're going to dream. How you dream about killing her and you sleeping right next to her? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden she turn on the lights and you like this. Wake up! What you dreaming about? Nothing. But there's law for unconsciousness, so to speak, but you're technically conscious. Deuteronomy 23:10 talks about a man, if he have a nocturnal emission, he have to still do what Leviticus 15 say. He have to get up and wash himself. And you have to understand the supernatural power. Friction is the only way it's going to leave your body in the flesh with your eyes open. There must be friction. It ain't going no other way but with friction. Now, in your subconscious, you laying on your back like that, watching a movie of yourself. Hope is righteous. But it will go in your sleep like this and ain't no friction. How strong is this? See, all Satan wants you to do is have that. And you can think about, you can hate Jay-Z. You can say he the devil worshiper, but if you smiling like this because you having your way with Beyonce in your sleep, he said, my eyes are 7 or 10,000 times the sun in its strength. Shalom, Lord. 10,000 times the sun in its strength. So at 12 noon to 2 p.m., his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than that. He can see into your dreams, into your subconscious. And when he see you having your way, Coach Jay-Z, practicing a wicked doctrine, you still can't have Beyonce. You can't have her in your sleep. Because when you wake up and your shorts wet. And women the same thing. You can't have Denzel come in your dreams. If your husband wake up and you smoking a cigarette at 2 o'clock, it's gonna be some problem. What you dreaming about? You ain't never smoked a square with me. Script called them succubus and incubus. Y'all look it up when y'all get a chance. Let's read, y'all. Let's finish it up, y'all. Where you at? Verse what? We're going to cut this off. 13.
Yeah, 12.
You can hold right there at 14. Yes, at 14 you can hold.
All right. We at 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect.
Be what?
Circumspect.
Always examining, always guarding yourself. Be circumspect if somebody's saying crazy, guard your grief. Be circumspect. Be always on guard. Pray for peace, but prepare for war. That's our Levi Raphael. Go ahead.
And make no mention of the name of other gods.
And make no mention of what?
Name of other gods.
Yo, it's saying in reference. But you can say they no good. You can say that. But you can't mention him like how he was when he was walking the stones of the north. Like he had some power like Freemasonry do. That's what it's talking about. They talk about Lucifer like he's still up in the stones of the north. That's the way they still talk about. Yeah, but see, he ain't fall. That's what your book is. You ain't got no other book talking about him. How you gonna change what the book talking? You still talking about the book. Yo, that's all his meaning. Don't mention him in that light. Don't mention him as a God that can deliver, because he ain't in the business for that. Lucifer ain't gonna never, ever tell you to do right. Ever. He will kill your children like he did Job. He'll stir up a storm like he did Job and tore down the house and killed all his children. He has that much power where he can stir up a storm a little bit. When the Messiah woke up and the disciple was screaming and howling scared to death and the storm finna turn the ship over, he got up and did like this. Enough of this. And they shaking it. What kind of man is this? Even though the storms obey him. And what he do? Went right back to sleep. Well, y'all starting to get on my nerves. Just woke up and handled that work. And laid right back down. Let's read some more, y'all, so we can get out of here.
Right.
You finished that 14?
I gotta finish it up.
Yeah, just say that.
And make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
And what we're talking about is giving them any reference. Don't care nothing about Pharaoh. Don't care nothing about the 380 gods of Pharaoh. Don't care nothing about them. They ain't nothing. That's what come out of our mouth. Lucifer ain't nothing. He hear you, but he say, I'm going to see if you're going to get rid of everything out of the Day of Atonement, because I'm coming back on the 11th. I'm going to see what you've been fasting and praying about. I'll be there on the 11th. Mister. Y'all, we deal with a crafty adversary. That's right. So y'all, we hold that, y'all. Let's just hit these last two. We're going to get on out of here. 1 John 4:11 and Revelation 22, y'all, we're going to close on out with. These two I want y'all to read on your own. Deuteronomy 8. This goes into more, all of Deuteronomy 8. Loving the Lord with your whole mind, heart, and soul. And 1 John 5 is the same way, but it both compasses the love of the Father and loving your neighbor as yourself. Y'all, love is the law. It's the keeping of the commandments. That's all the Most High asking you. He's saying, keep the commandments and live. Like he's saying this, if you see a car fall on your enemy, at least dial 911. Can't ride by and say, good for that nigga.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well, Sister Kimber Lily said, tell Brother Daniel his beard looks great.
Oh, yes, sir. I've been working on this. I'm on a new plan, y'all. They say by 2030, I'll be looking like Ezra. Put that camera on there. Put that camera on there. Right there, y'all. They say by 2030. So I'm on that plan, y'all. I got about 10 more years to go, 12 more years to go before I'm right there. Yeah. What Yakin Maccabee talking about?
He said your little beard look nice.
I'm on the way, y'all. I should have that chin strap. About 5 more years. But look, y'all, Brother Mike can't even get that far. Right? But y'all, it's all good, y'all. It's all good. Thank y'all out there for notice. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? We finished that. Let's just hit this last, y'all go these last two, 1 John 4 and 11. Y'all write down that Deuteronomy 8, that 1 John 5, 8 through 17. And Matthew 5, 17, the where he say, I have not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill. Fulfillment runs through the second coming. It just wasn't nailed to the cross. It has to go through his second coming. He's still talking about correction. What you got, bro? Matthew 5, 17 on down. I did not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. Till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle in no wise shall pass the law. That ain't got nothing to do with the priesthood changing. That's part of the law. Moses wrote, another priest is coming after Melchizedek. He gonna supersede me. John the Baptist, the last prophet who said, ain't no more prophecies about the Messiah coming. John was it. Everything else pressed it into the kingdom. Every other prophet is talking about the kingdom to come. Some Negro talking about coming from Chicago, he a prophet. What he coming to tell you? You gonna get that charge at a low interest rate. I don't care nothing about that. That's what they do. Yeah. 1 John 4, 11, y'all. Let's get on out here, read that in Revelation 22 and 12, y'all. We're gonna close out. And y'all, what we're talking about, hang the law on these 2 commandments. But y'all, we got to love how to love the Lord with everything we went over and did certain things about your neighbor. And your enemy is going to be the foes of your own household. You just don't want to become the enemy that David spoke of, mine own familiar friend. You got to make sure you stay out of that lane. Was that 42 and 9 of Psalm? I'm not sure. Well, I believe it's 42 and 9. But that's what you don't want to be. Let's read some more. Where we at?
1 John chapter 4, verse 11.
You all right over there, sis? Hold on. Hold on.
I can tell you. No better.
Well, I don't want to start laughing and choking either. So let's get it, y'all, so we get on out of here.
Beloved, if Yahweh so loved us, we ought also to love one another.
We also to do what?
Love one another.
Yeah.
No man has seen Yahweh at any time.
At what time?
At any time.
Last week.
At any time.
Okay.
If we love one another, Yahweh dwells in us, and his love is perfected in us. Hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he has given us of his spirit. And we have seen and do testify that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world.
We're going to testify to that. Go ahead.
Whosoever shall confess that Yahweh is the Son of Yahweh, Yahweh dwelleth in him.
So he that testifies he's the son of Joseph.
No.
Okay. Read some more.
And he in Yahweh. And we have known and believed the love of Yahweh hath to us. Yahweh is love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in Yahweh, and Yahweh in him.
Right.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world.
Verse 19. Verse 18, I'm sorry.
There is no fear in love.
There is no fear of the law. What you scared about? If it say don't do it, what you scared and trembling about is health to your neighbor. There's no fear with the law. His commandment, if you love me, keep my commandments, like brother Theo says, John 14, 15. John 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. His love is the keeping of the commandments. If you love me, do that. If you slip up, if a righteous man fall down 7 times, dust yourself off and get back up and try it again. But you ain't gonna never give up on the Most High and think you're gonna be part of his team. What you guys said? Oh, you was good? Okay. Let's read on, y'all. Let's finish this and hit that Revelation. Where you at? Verse what?
Still verse 18.
Go ahead.
There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear.
Right.
Because fear hath torment.
What does fear have?
Torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us.
What did he do? What?
He first loved us.
Right.
If a man say, I love Yahweh and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he has seen, how can he love Yahweh, whom he has not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth Yahweh loveth his brother also.
Unless there's perfect hatred. Like he said, for Esau have I hated. What he was talking about is I love him less than Jacob. Because Isaac loved Esau, didn't he? He didn't say the Lord say, I hate you. He loved Esau for his venison, but he was loved less. The Lord saw that Leah was hated, right? Did Jacob hate Leah? He sure didn't hate on the other side of midnight, did he? No. Not with them chillins that came. Wasn't no hate then. It means to love less. Perfect hatred is Psalm 139, verse 21, 22. Perfect hatred. Anybody that hates the Lord in their heart, like Satanists, you can hate him whether he's born in your house or he your uncle cross town. You can hate him. You can love him less than anything on earth because he hates your God. But it has to be perfect hatred. Y'all, and our enemies have become the foes of our own household, so you better get your perfect hatred down. Can't be no player hate. Niggas just rub me the wrong way. None of that. That's player hate. You've been sipping from the fountain of hate already. Yeah, wait till I tell him this. I'm gonna tell him how his mama smelled. Ain't got nothing to do with these scriptures. Revelation 22, y'all, we're gonna close out. 12 through 16.
Hey, what's up with I think did Jacob say they finna pull his YouTube channel?
Yeah. What they trying to, they got him on watch. Somebody that sent in some more information saying he doing hate speech. They flagged him on that alphabet series. The 6th series.
Hebrew 1.
Yeah. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. Don't worry about it. We'll be good. We'll be excellent. We ain't worried about Mr. YouTube. Let's read some more. 22, verse 12 through 16, y'all, we up.
Even on that beard oil, huh, boy?
You see it?
Natural fruit juices and all that.
Blackorchid.com sent me some Abraham beard oil. Yeah. You don't hear that? Boy, these brews that sit out for these online beers show me talking some stuff. See what y'all gonna be saying in 2030. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. And behold, I come quick.
What did he say he come?
I come quick.
Right?
And my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Blessed are they that do what?
That do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Loveth and maketh a lie. Go ahead.
I, Yahweh, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
See, I'm the root of David and his offspring. I'm the beginning of David. Don't get it twisted. Don't get caught in the flesh about the Messiah. You ain't gonna never convince us he got corruptible flesh. You ain't gonna never convince us he was born of a roll in the hay. Mary just stopped by Joseph's house, didn't have nothing else to do but drop it like it's hot. Yeah. You will never convince us of that. Where we at? We ready to close out? What that prayer is?
No, 64.
I think Brian had a question.
Who got a question? What you got, Theo?
I'm just gonna add, you know, in the law, he said that the man's ejaculate was unclean. You know, whatever he was clean, he would never come through that way because it's unclean way it's coming to the world.
That's clear to you. Some want to choose and believe a lie, like we just read the final. They choose the lie and believe it because there's a reward for them there. You get a pretty outfit and maybe a few hookers.
What's the closing song?
64. You got one you want to say?
Shalom out there, worldwide family. Glad y'all can join. Send us any questions or concerns on what's happening. If anything, any errors, reproof, bring it to us, y'all. We ain't saying we got it all. All we saying we practicing for it all. Trying to get prepared.
Oh, good boy.
How you looking out there? You ain't sleep out there. Boy, you security, not a watchman. You ain't sleep out there. I'm just messing with you.
We're gonna get this closed out with a closing prayer and song with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh HaMashiach, like I said, locally known as Jesus the Christ.
Yes, sir.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 64, and it reads as follows. Hear my voice, O Yah, in my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune on laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But Yah shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear, and shall declare the work of Yah, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Most High, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart, shall glory. Hallelujah! Say
Yahoo! Long live the King, y'all. If y'all got a shekel or two, y'all, we greatly appreciate it. Shout out to our worldwide family, our Texas family out there, praying for y'all out there in Midland, Texas, and Dallas, and Brother Keith and Sister Thea, and Brother Charles and Sister Becky. Praying for y'all, brothers in Atlanta. Praying for you, Sister Amina, all y'all.